of. Potentially train, test weapons.
Hmm.
Probably have to leave and come back fairly frequently.
For
I
something
could ask
like
my brother.
For something like that, I have a few spells I could look into for you. Sort of taps her chin for a moment.
Didn't mean to do that.
Sure you didn't.
Y'all want your
Okay.
card draw or not?
Yes.
Thank
One
you.
time people weren't rushing to do it.
She thinks for a moment and says, if you want this to be something that you can go to at will, I'm assuming, yes?
Yes.
It would take me, depending on whether you wanted me to focus on this first or your friend's enchantment. Overall, enchanting something to do this and creating such a dimension would be probably take me, I'd say 2, maybe 3 months, depending on the size and specifications, of course. For something smaller and simple, it would be, sort of looks around for a moment, it would be probably about a quarter the size of this place, but it'd be functional and you'd have plenty of room to train and sleep if that's what you wished. Doing something like that, it would take me, I'd say, 2 months all on its own, and for costs, I'll say it puts you around 40,000 gil.
That's not bad at all, actually.
Not at all. That's something to save up to. What if we want to jazz it up? Perhaps jazzing it up a bit.
Are you talking about
And
size or kind of specific
furnishings,
size?
probably.
More furnishings, so like more rooms, perhaps?
Yes. Oh, and definitely don't prioritize Kryn first, of course.
If, I'd say if you want it like sort of begins to move her hands outwards, and as she does, you watch as this image begins to slowly form and take shape right in front of you all. And as it does, you begin to see it slowly swirl, and it's like this interior layout that's being designed as she speaks. And what you see is a building that becomes 3 stories tall. The first floor has what looks to be 4 distinct rooms. The floor itself sort of cut in half in like a cross shape. You can see one area that looks like it has like a sand pit as well as other training implements. You see one right next to it that looks like it's what would effectively be something of a community shower, although as you look at it, each sort of shower area is sectioned off and privatized. That way you have your own sort of private shower area, but there's like a whole bunch of them in this one room. The other one seems to be something of a lounge area with a staircase that travels up the wall and up to the next floor. The next floor itself seems to be sectioned off into bedrooms, 9 in total, and each one, as they're being designed and shaped, you can see you specifically, Duggar, as well as Duggar and Star, you can both make these out. Each room has these tiny little details of what you guess to be like who they're meant for. You can see one that has what looks like the face of a coil on the wall. You can see another one that looks like it has like flames that are going in an arc, and what looks to be like faint petals sort of trickled into the flames. Um, there's another one that has it's like and actually this is one that all of you can notice, like the entire room, whereas the rest of it seems to be made out of like some like faint immaterial material, as that sort of the material for the house itself hasn't really been decided on. But this room itself looks like it's more steampunkish and more metallic, and it seems to have like tiny little Magitech constructs sort of whizzing around the room itself and like climbing up onto the walls and skittering around them. And in each of these rooms have these like small little details. But as the third one starts to form, you can see what looks like small little humanoids like floating around the room, and the entire floor looks like one giant kitchen. And each of these small little and these on the third floor, all of you can make these out. These small little like almost ghost-like specters just floating around with pots and pans and cooking food and various accoutrements, and just seeming to be getting ready for a feast. And as this entire house is sort of finished, she pulls her hands away, and you watch as each of the floors sort of separate, so you can see each one individually. They all come to line up next to each other, and she says, "How does this look?"
I think that looks perfect.
Yeah, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
It is quite impressive.
No. Something like this will take me a little bit to make permanent, but
We need one more thing: a rooftop access with a tie-off for an airship.
I don't know how you'd fit a.
Airship in
Well,
a pocket dimension?
Yeah.
No, we won't put the
For-
airship in the pocket dimension, but when we pull it, we can take the building out of the pocket dimension, can't we? No, okay.
I could certainly
would
try
be
to make
cool.
it possible if you want.
No, because the airship won't be in the pocket dimension. Never mind. My bad.
All right, very well. I was going to say I could attempt to make a way for your airship, if you have one, to traverse into the plane if that's what you wished. It would be significantly more expensive, mind you, depending on the size of the airship, but it's certainly possible.
Maybe when we finally get an airship.
A
I
very
wave the
talk about
plans. I wave the plans at everybody.
Well, that doesn't mean we'll have it right away. That's still
No.
time.
Well, once you get
We
it,
can
I
come
can always. Indeed. Once you get it, I can always add it to it later. These features are retroactive, thankfully. Magic is
Wonderful.
amazing for that. But for something like this, I'll say each floor would probably come to about 75,000 gil individually. However, I love all of you. And so I'll make this entire thing for you for, we'll say 175,000.
Definitely be worth it.
It
You
would
can
be.
do it in payments, of course. I trust all of you.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, no, I'd be.
Yeah, because otherwise we'd have
to.
to like pony up everything we have right now to pay for it.
Yes, I trust all of you, and besides, I know where to find you now.
Exactly.
You have my scroll. Although I guess you could throw it away, but
No, we'll be back.
That would be silly. Why wouldn't we come back?
exactly. Well,
Payment
there-
plan it is then.
Sounds good.
Does she need a deposit?
Yes, I was about to ask if we needed a deposit to start.
Sorry, I was biting some ice cream.
There.
She says, "Let's see. How much do you have right now?"
I could chip in about 8,000 myself.
I've got about 40,000, give or take.
I got
that's-
about 30,000, give or take.
I got that after my little shopping trip.
Alright.
After my shopping trip, I've got about 30,000 left. So
Do we still have this airship money in the party gold?
Yes.
the 100,000 is in the party gold. We'll need a little bit more. It's gonna
Mm.
cost. It's gonna cost about 70,000 to build, but we're going to need to hire the mages to pilot it
Yeah.
or to
Okay,
power
so
it.
we'll keep that there.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But I think we should definitely, when we start getting more loot, start to actually like cut some out of everything we take and tossing it in there.
Yeah, definitely. Didn't you
Agreed.
get the extra 33,000 from the Sword of Sharpness selling, MJ?
Hmm?
Did you write down the extra
She bought some
33,333
things.
from? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
just making sure.
I bought not only the little one clothing and a staff
Yeah, I
that she
remember
thought
that.
was pretty. I also bought I upped my elven chain to elven chain +2.
Yeah, just making sure.
Yeah, but that's why I'm so low now.
Okay, so who has the least amount right now?
I think that's MJ or maybe Magnus. I'm not sure.
I
Okay.
don't have much more than her now.
High
So-
five to the poor people.
How about with
Do
the
we know
six
how
of
much
us,
Oda has?
we just drop 5,000 each for 30,000?
I never gave access. I apologize. Let me go ahead and give it to. I'll just give it to both Sky and Magnus.
Magnus, you got the 33,000, right?
Oda is
Yes,
now
that's the only way I could
32.
afford what I purchased.
All right, just double checking.
Yeah, because I got a
Arm chain upgrade, right?
yeah, I upgraded my armor, I got a materia, and I wish I could have gotten the speed boost rare, but
We can come back.
It says.
We
no,
are
she didn't have it.
Oh,
No.
fair. She might later.
But
Who
she
knows?
says, "Well, how about this? You have enough for half now, so why don't we do half now and half upon completion?" And half would be 62,500.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm not sure we have enough for the full half.
We do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll put up 20K.
All right. I'll put up 20K as well.
And we're up to 40.
I can only put 5.
I don't have much either. Put in 5 to get that up to 50.
Has one of the two on Oda's sheet looked to see what Oda has to
I
pitch
have
in?
not. Give
I
me a
don't feel-
second.
I just need to know how much I have total.
Where is Ota's money?
We may just want to go with that payment plan then. Save us the huge dip, the huge
Well,
drop in gold.
That's
Yeah.
what she wants half up front. So
Well, she's saying if you have half now.
I don't see Ota's money.
Why Luna not writing his money down?
He might
Is
be
it the
out.
51? Is it 51,000 in the bio?
Yeah, that might be it actually.
Perhaps.
Then plus 33,000, right?
That might have already included that. I'm not
Yeah, I don't know.
Cut. What are you throwing in, Josh?
I was throwing in another 5,000 myself.
I
So
can
we
cut
got-
mine in half and give half.
Okay.
Alright, well, if you don't have half, that's fine. We can
Well,
work
we
out
can-
something
we're-
else.
We're mathing. Hold on.
Okay.
So wait, we gave
I've got 20,000 from me, 20,000 from Aidwin, 5,000 from was it
Magnus.
Josh
Josh. Yep.
from Delgar,
Okay.
and
so that's
I don't
45.
have numbers. Yep.
I put
5
mine down in
from-
chat.
5,000 from Magnus.
Yep.
So that's 50.
And 3648 from Star.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did no one found money on Oda?
We did. What's the total that we're at?
Oh shoot! I forgot to put the R in front of it.
Yeah, gotta remember that /R.
5368. So 65 just needs like
I don't know what the hell it did.
11,
You put a comma.
352.
Oh, I
Put a
did.
comma in front of the first one.
Okay,
Comma
that's what
two.
I'm gonna take out of Oda's sheet is 11,352.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Alright, so as you all begin to search your bags, pulling out the gill for it, mostly through your bank cards, since you don't carry that much gill around with you.
God.
It would be ridiculously heavy and very, very difficult to actually carry. But having sorted that out, she smiles and says, "Very well. I will." She looks to you, Crane, and says, "I'll get your enchantments all done up, and as soon as I'm finished with that, I'll get to
Have we
creating
added
this
the last bit from Oda there?
Yeah,
Yes.
I got it.
Yeah.
I just took it off of the. I just took it off of their sheet.
Yep.
Yep, to give us the 65,000
Yep. So
even.
Yep. And she says,
Hey, Joy, have you ever had a necklace of flavor?
"I have. I'm the one that sold it to you, my dear, remember?"
Damn it.
this is true.
I wanted to backpedal it.
Nope.
Fair.
It seems she is very...
I kind of hoped you forgot. I looked at it, I'm like, maybe I can like pawn this backwards.
No, you're not going to Adventure Time this on me.
Damn it.
Which Smiles says, "Nice try. Maybe next time."
Hmm.
But as soon as I have finished this now, just let you know, to make something that's elaborate, I will be setting aside some other things for you, but don't worry. I'm more than happy to. And besides, they are, well, a lot of them didn't help me out as much as all of you, so I'm playing favorites. It's my shop, I can't do that anyway, can't I? So...
Don't want to be sure to keep earning that favoritism.
No, just so you know, after my enchantments for your friend there, creating this will take me round about 6 or 7 months or so, but I think you'll like it when it's finished.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the farm to just wait 7 months.
All right.
Oh, could you just one last thing, one tiny thing,
Of course. What's it?
a stable to put the birds in somewhere. Thank you.
Oh, of course. I'll make sure that comes up too. Free of charge, of course.
Thank you.
Good call. I'm glad you remember that.
It was a very good call.
Yeah, me too.
Otherwise, you just have them in the front room, and they would just be like, "Quack."
Chuck Hale over the front room. It's the birds' room now.
I need a button that just like shocks Aidwin, not the character, the
Bruh.
actual player, to make just get him to actually do the sound. Just make the noise.
Just have them record a sound clip, and you can play it on Music Boy every now and then.
I'll get one of those audio tuner player whatevers that streamers get. Soundboard, that's what it's called.
Soundboard.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll just get a soundboard.
I, after just all this shopping, probably just wants to go and kick down Lolorita's door at this point.
No, we can't piss him off.
Oh, I know. I wish I could.
I know.
Until we get all our enchantment stuff back.
All right. So anything else?
No, I think we're good.
All right. So as you all bid your farewell and one by one step out, as the final person steps through the door, the portal, almost in a reverse way of how it opened, gets sucked back into like a center point before the scroll reforms and is just kind of floating there in the center, waiting for you to grab it. As you grab it, stash it back away, you are once again back in the same room of the quicksand that you left in. Same state as it was.
All right. Okay, let's get a move on. We got places to be.
Yep, to Pippin.
All right.
What? Yeah, to Pippin.
Yep.
My
Alright.
brain
This-
died.
This is about reminding myself and just in general for everyone. The cover what we're looking for is the desert rose blooms.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right. How do you intend on finding Pippin?
Melody, where's Pippin? Where can we go find him?
Melody?
Momo.
Melody.
Oh, Momo. Okay. It sounded like you said Melody. I'm like, who's Melody? I've
No.
never introduced an NPC called Melody.
Well, Momo D really fast does sound like Melody.
Yeah.
Fair.
All right. But as you go up to Momo and ask, she thinks for a moment and says, "Well, if I was in charge of the city and had to rule from a place of authority, I would probably want to rule from where the Sultana used to rule. The Royal Promenade.
Yeah.
Mm.
Although, I mean, that place was swarming with Sultan Sworn before. Admittedly, I've not actually even tried to go up there since martial law was issued. Although it wasn't necessarily from lack of trying, work keeps me very busy. So,
Maybe we should just try the company headquarters.
it's possible you might be able to summon him away from there if again, just as a reminder, both from the DM and Momo, if you can somehow prove to them that you have ties, it might help tremendously with gaining access.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've got something that can at least point us in the right direction. I haven't used this since we were last in Ul'dah, I think. Background feature.
Ooh, okay. All right. So, bidding Momo farewell, you begin sort of thinking for a moment and retracing your connections.
Wait, I'm gonna PM you. I have a question, but keep going.
You are led back to the Pugilists Guild, where you trained briefly during some of your initial training with the monks of Rhalgr. Going there and asking around about Pippin, you do learn that the Royal Promenade, the Sultan Sworn presence there has been significantly increased since martial law was initiated. You also learned that many of the nobles that once sort of paraded themselves around have seemed to keep more of a straightened posture when walking the Royal Promenade. It does not seem like access to it has been restricted in any way. It just seems like the presence of the Sultan Sworn has been vastly increased. Although you do learn that access to the area where the Sultana herself, that like the throne room itself, but the actual room itself, that itself has been all but shut off from public access. There are extremely few who actually are granted access, and to the best of the knowledge of those that you have connections with, no one that they know has connections high up enough to be able to gain access.
That's fair. I'm
But
just still trying.
we do.
Yeah, but
I
I'm just.
had a good memory match, by the way. But sorry, you can finish.
Go ahead. Fair, but Delger's just mainly just trying to track down Pippin at this point.
I know,
Go
but
ahead,
we have medallions to identify ourselves.
Right, we do have that. Thank
From
you.
Fumi.
Mhm. And that was for bait, not me trying to remind you.
Oh,
Thank you for that reminder myself, because I completely forgot about those.
I
I-
almost
well-
forgot. I remembered when she mentioned it.
if we're wandering around, Star will like dig it out of her bag and go, wait, hold on! Guys, do you all still have your medallions, right?
Yes, I should.
Then this
Yes,
should be
I
our
still have mine.
identifier.
Except for Aidwin and Roxana.
Well, you
But
guys
they
are with
can
us.
tag
You're
along
fine.
with us.
Yes.
Mhm.
No, they can't. Fuck them. No.
I see how it is.
Yeah. Gotta exclude the 2 newbies. But alright, so where do you go with them? And who do you show them to?
Let's start with where that we basically got pointed to for Pippin first. See if those could at least get us in to talk to him.
Yeah.
It's up to the Royal
Right.
Promenade.
Yes.
Yep.
Alright. As you all head up, you do notice,
God, what was on the medallion again?
I don't remember. It's been so long since I gave you that description, and I don't know where those notes are, and I'm not going to try and dig them out.
Fine.
I'll write
Yeah.
it up again later, and it'll probably be different.
I'm just gonna put it as the
Uh,
identification medallion.
Yeah. But you do notice a transition of guard. Whereas sort of on that very first level and sort of on the outer edges of the of Ul'dah itself, there's more sort of brass blade and immortal flame presence with Sultansworn sort of mixed in. As you get sort of towards the center of this first floor, there are less brass blade and Sultansworn and more immortal flame. And as you begin to ascend the stairs, the immortal flames die out and the Sultansworn starts to once more take over as you get higher and higher. As you reach the Royal Promenade itself, the sort of third, I believe it's the third tier of Ul'dah, the Sultansworn are the only guard you see, stationed almost every 6-7 feet or so.
Heads up, walk with authority, no one will stop us.
Yeah, basically. And you can see they're all sort of, each and every one of them up on the Royal Promenade have one sword on their hand, one hand on their sword, and their shield sort of at the ready and sort of covering their chest. And though their heads don't move, you can all see their eyes watching you as you make your way up. And each one standing there very clearly at the ready at a moment's notice. And even as you, assuming any of you try, like very much British Royal Guard, where like even trying to get their attention, they just do not respond to you at all. They're very like sort of strict and regiment as they stand there. And as you make your way up to that that strip of Thanalan maps? Is it? No, it's under. Why would it be under Thanalan maps? It'd be under Ul'dah. Duh. It's under one of these. I don't remember what exactly it is called. But as you approach that strip that sort of leads up to that throne room, you can see the entire entryway is blocked shoulder to shoulder with Sultansworn.
Well, this is a warm welcome.
Very. I guess we'll just make our way up.
They do not seem to acknowledge your presence.
Would you mind moving over? We're here to see Pippin, and she'll raise up the medallion.
You see the one in the middle, sort of, his head sort of turns to look towards the medallions for a moment before he begins to slowly step back. And as he does, you watch as another guard who was sort of stationed on that runway and sort of to the side moves up to take his place as he turns around and walks back.
And if you don't mind, tell him the desert rose blooms.
As he walks back and through the doors, you do notice that the doors themselves, whereas before they were sort of, when someone were to enter, both of them were open to sort of welcome them in. At this point, only one of them is like slightly open, just enough for the guardman to actually like squeeze like literally squeeze in, like just enough room for him to get in before it is almost slammed shut.
What a fun bunch.
You can actually hear as it sort of the door closing sort of echoes out into the rest of the area. And about 15 minutes or so pass, and he still hasn't returned.
Anybody got a deck of cards? I have a feeling we're going to be waiting here a while.
We don't have
Bag of
time to
bombs.
wait a while.
I can open the door by force. I got bombs.
No. No.
Do not
The
set a
birds are
still-
bomb in here.
The birds are still okay for one more night.
You say that in front of a bunch of guards.
I whispered.
You
Out of
did
character, it
not.
didn't sound like it.
It didn't. You said it out loud.
Did I? I might have.
The Salt and Sword
We
don't seem to
are-
be particularly swayed one way or another from the threat.
That's good. We are to remain polite and not throw explosions. None of you know how to be political.
As you say that, the door begins to slowly open, and at first you don't see anything. And a moment later, you see walking out from around it this small Lalafell wearing what looks like a miniaturized version of Raubon's armor. With what could effectively be two miniaturized versions of his swords. And as he sort of comes out, he doesn't come out very far. He comes out about 10 feet away from the wall and sort of looks you all over before turning back and just giving a nod before heading back in through the door. And as he does, you watch as that same individual from before comes back out or squeezes back out, comes over, places one hand on one of the guard's shoulders and gives them all a nod, and they all stand aside and let you through.
Thank you. Come on, guys.
Let's head inside.
Yep. Each of you begin heading inside, and as you pass, they once more take their positions to block the entryway.
This is what it feels like to be you, Star.
So true. So as you enter
Don't
in,
fully understand for some reason.
I believe he means short.
Oh. Ha,
No,
ha.
I just meant because of the fact that this feels like to have such heavy guards around you, but
Ha! Fair.
Oh.
that's why it took
I
me a
knew-
moment. Then I was like, "Oh wow, okay." But as each of you enter, the door itself is open only just far enough for the largest of you to be able to squeeze through. And as you enter, you notice that the inside of this area is probably the most heavily fortified area in all of Ul'dah. There is a Sultan Sworn every foot or two, just stationed along the wall all the way around. The columns themselves each have at least one or two Sultan Sworn positioned next to them. The door, as you enter through, you can see there are 4 guards just for the door. Sort of one at each of the very edges of it, and then 2 standing side by side at where it would open at. And one of them opens it, and the other one just sort of stands there and watches as all of you pass through, and help to sort of pull it closed very, very quickly and abruptly as you enter through. And it's a very different feeling from what you 3 had back the first time you came in here to meet the Sultana. Whereas before it had a relatively heavy Sultan Sworn presence, now it's like this room, it feels more like a war room than a meeting place where the Sultana might gather civilians and others to discuss matters. Pippin, who is not even sitting on the throne, is actually just standing in front of it.
Fair.
Just sort of looks at all of you as you enter, and you're all stopped about 100 feet from the throne itself, whereas before you were allowed to get about 50 feet or so. And he says, "The desert rose blooms.
Indeed.
What brings you here?"
Well, we've had some interesting adventures as of late, and
I've come across much information that seems it would help a lot of people. Star's not even like moving her head, but the eyes on the robe are flickering around, taking in everything from each angle.
It's very disorienting, admittedly.
Yeah, there's a lot of people too. Mm.
Information about what?
We know what attacked Raubon and how we might be able to help him.
And the fact that we hope he has not been laid to rest too far off, because he's very much so still alive.
You watch at first when Delger mentions Raubon's name, you watch as he sort of like takes a step forward, and then at your mention of him potentially still being alive, you can Delger and Star, you can both see there's a very visible like drop in tone for like his demeanor. He says, "What do you mean alive?
Alive.
How?
As in not dead?
I saw his body myself. I saw the way the magics didn't affect him. What do you mean he is still alive?"
The creature, a spawn of Garlemald, put him in a near-death state. We found other soldiers who had been attacked by this thing.
And we're informed that they too were still there. They were just, as he said, in a death-like state.
You watch as
I'm living.
you watch as real quick as you're saying that, he turns to someone who's right next to him, motions for him to come down, and whispers something in his ear, and that guard then motions to about 4 others, and all of them go running out.
And I am living proof that that wound is not necessarily fatal by itself. Just has weird lightning coming off of it.
Which can be extracted so that the wound may heal. And with your permission, we intend to fix that for the general.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay.
For several reasons, honestly, but
Haha!
don't want to lose his dad.
Alright, he thinks for a moment and says, "Let her through." And as he says that, the guards, specifically the ones that are sort of standing in front of Star, both move out of the way.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll come forward.
Alright. As you move forward, they then go to continue to sort of block that entryway for the rest of the party. And he says, "My men are bringing his body here, though he was buried. We had presumed him dead.
Understandable.
We do wish we had come sooner with this, and wish we had it sooner so
If-
you wouldn't have to have buried him.
What you say is true, and you can do what you claim. We have much to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
If you fail," sort of looks up at the rest of your party, and he says, "We'll cross that road when we get to it."
I intend not to, but it seems that when the aether is removed, it creates its own kind of, like, small hand gestures, electrified being. So we should be prepared for that.
sort of tilts his head. What do you mean, electrified being?
When removing it from my friend back there, the crystal it was pulled into took flight, and touching it was very painful.
I see. Well, he sort of folds his arms for a moment and says, my men should be back in about 10 or 15 minutes, so once they return, we shall see if your claims are true or not.
Yep.
And so you wait. Is there anything any of you wish to do in the meantime? Okay.
Don't really know.
All right. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, as you wait there for a couple of minutes, eventually you see, you hear some commotion from outside the door for a moment before both the doors are shoved inwards, causing the two guards that were standing in front of them to sort of stumble forward for a moment in surprise before turning around. All of the guards immediately pulling their swords as they turn towards the door. And a moment later, as you watch this like gurney with the general's body get shoved very quickly and almost running toward, like being pushed towards you guys at a running speed. And as the realization of who it is that's being brought in and those bringing it, the rest of the guards sort of take a step back and put their swords back away and resume their position. And as the body is brought forward, it's wheeled to right in front of you, and the two of the 5 guards move to stand behind you while the other 3 resume where they were previously standing near the throne. And Pippin looks at you and says, you may begin when ready.
She'll turn to the guards behind her. I just want to prepare you since I can't tell if you were here or not. As I do this, it might create an electrified being. So we need to keep our eye on that.
They both nod.
Alright, go into our bag and grab an empty crystal.
Alright. Pull on empty one. Begin to focus.
I should cast enhance ability on myself.
Yeah, may as well. This is probably the time to do it, honestly.
Probably.
Alright, so what are you enhancing?
This usually seems to be a wisdom check because that's my magic check.
Keep in mind, Hattie gives you advantage on mental checks.
Oh, yes, he does. Fair.
So.
I could go Bear's Endurance, get some temporary HP to protect you from any backlash damage or such.
Sure. That does sound like.
So go ahead and roll your 2d6.
Everyone forgetting to type roll.
it always happens.
And R 9.
Alright, 9 temporary HP. Not bad, not bad. Alright. You readying yourself and sort of concentrating for a moment, you hold the crystal out once more and begin to focus. Go ahead and make the first wisdom check. An 18. Give me 1 second. No, fuck it. An 18. So as you begin to focus and try to replicate what you did before with this electricity, you all watch as the lightning that had not actually been there just a moment ago. It seemed to have maybe settled in or run its course. You watch as it begins to once more spark to life very rapidly across his body and within almost a couple seconds, it's sparking across his body as just like it was Rakshana. And as Star begins to focus on that ether and draw it in, once more that lightning begins to surge towards it. You've begun successfully. So far, no repercussions. Give me a second one.
11.
As you feeling that intensity, you begin to push forward once more, and as you do, there's a moment where some of that electricity sparks towards the crystal, but actually arcs off of it. It almost seems to be repelled by the crystal, and instead strikes towards you. You take only 2 points of lightning damage.
It's a good start.
Good start, but
Good temporary hit points.
yeah, but as your hand sort of jerks back from it, feeling more like static electricity than very painful static electricity, admittedly, but more static electricity than actual lightning or electricity itself. But the electricity seems to have waned towards its interest in the crystal. Go ahead and make another one for me. 20.
There we go.
Sort of shaking your hand off and looking up at Pippin, who is staring very intently at you and keeping an eye directly on you. You refocus your efforts, and once more staring at the crystal, you begin to focus your will over it, drawing that lightning back towards it. Make another wisdom check for me. 14.
That 14.
Yeah, this time, as your eyes themselves now fixated on Pippin, as you watch these other eyes, the ones in the back looking towards those guards who are admittedly kind of looking down at the robes with some apprehension, because you gathered they've probably never seen an item like this.
Yeah.
But the eyes on the front now focusing in on the general's body and on the electricity and the crystal, this sort of omnidirectional presence of yours that's able to focus on all these different aspects. It's very disorienting, and essentially there's at least one eye on every guard. And still plenty left over to focus on what she's doing. But because of that, her attention is pulled in so many directions, she's not really used to it. And once more, the electricity seems to go awry, this time actually striking your chest for 10 points of lightning damage. And kind of sending you back a little bit and having to take a moment to catch your breath. Try once again with that wisdom check. 20 once more. Sort of be like, don't worry, it's just I've got this, and
It just likes to fight.
and once more refocusing your efforts, and you get the sense it's not necessarily you that's causing this. It's not on you that is causing this difficulty with the lightning. Whatever this is that's taken hold of him it's had time to sink in and effectively get its claws deep into Raubon's body, and it's far more difficult to extract it from Raubon, whereas for Rakshana it was so fresh and new, it hadn't had that chance to really sink in and get a hold of her aether like it has Raubon. And you've had to once more pull back and try to refocus your efforts. The DC is actually higher. It's not just RNG. It is actually more difficult.
I had a feeling.
No, I know.
I'm not quite worried about the
No,
fact
but
that we
you said
let
it was
him
like
go along with
it's
it.
you were saying that it wasn't her. It's like, yes, it's RNG.
A little bit, yes.
RNG.
But you once more sort of trying
Plus,
to
if I'm
refocus.
aware, his injury was bigger than hers.
Yes,
Yep.
his was significantly bigger, and as you begin sort of taking a moment to collect your thoughts and watch, the lightning that's arcing around him has grown in intensity as you've attempted this ritual. The lightning itself, whereas with Rakshana, it didn't really. You could see it all over her body, but it didn't cover her body like it does Raubon's. You can see some of these streaks, more often than not, in fact, seem to almost have been engorged on his aether and seem to almost be getting to the point of like an actual lightning strike in width across his body.
Considers stacking crystals on top of each other.
And pulling another one might not be a bad idea,
You
honestly.
could try. I'll say make an Arcana check.
Okay.
With advantage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyone proficient that is watching this ritual can roll an Arcana check.
I am not proficient in Arcana.
What? A red mage? The one
I
who
know.
studied magic?
Mhm.
I'm not proficient in Arcana either, unfortunately.
Sorry.
That is unfortunate. All right. Well, as you're thinking,
Patty, would you like to roll?
I mean, he does have his own sheet. Let me pull it out.
That's
real
if he's
quick.
feeling nice today.
Yeah, let me pull it out so that way you guys aren't seeing his stats. I think I revealed him in a different episode, but let me just make sure they're actually, yes, always whisper. Fantastic. I mean, it's going to come out in the video, but
Yeah. won't snoop
oh, he rolled a natural 1, guys.
Jesus,
Oh
Patty.
no!
One
He
job.
rolled a natural 1, and then because he has advantage, he rolled a 5.
Oh,
I'm not even. You'll see it in the
Oh.
episode, but I'm not even joking. He thinks for a moment, and goes, more crystals might help. It would distribute the amount of aether going to each one. As a result, it might be easier to pull the aether out rather than trying to force it all into one smaller space, sort of because of the length of time and how it looks. And this is something you get as well. The lightning, based off your observations, lightning seems to, whatever this wound is, seems to sort of feed off of the aether of its victim. And looking at this, it seems like Raubon's aether has been engorged on for so long that whatever this effect is has grown far more powerful than what was on Rakshana. So trying to force it into one crystal might not necessarily work, and trying multiple, 2, maybe 3 or more might help, but you're also one person, so you could try. It might be easier, but it might be more strenuous on yourself.
Write me down, and I will be even more powerful than you can ever
I need some of my companions up here with me.
Make a persuasion roll without advantage, though. You technically have advantage because of a Hattie, but Pippin doesn't seem to want to allow more of your companions close by, so it would be disadvantage. However, as you say that, he sort of looks at you and says,
I cannot do these crystals alone. I am one person. They have as much of Heidelin's light as I do. I need them.
looks back to your companions, and then looks to you and says, because I want my father back, I will allow you one additional companion. You choose.
God damn it, whose fucking wisdom is good? Damn, I don't know y'all that well. This feels like one of those like quick think games where you're
Well-
supposed to remember shit about your companions.
You
Takes
also,
2 steps back.
I will say, just right off the bat, something that your character knows is that this is very much a magical thing that you are doing. So it's not necessarily your wisdom specifically
Red
that you have to
mage!
use.
Aha. Okay.
So, Adwin, you are allowed forward.
Edward, come here. And grab a crystal. Throw my bag. Empty.
Yeah, Adwin will go and grab a crystal out of her bag and then go on the opposite side where Star is.
All right. Both of you raise your hands once more and begin to focus. Star.
Yeah.
Something interesting is going to happen for both of you. Hang on.
Oh.
Gotta look for something specific. Before I reveal, I closed Hattie's sheet. I don't actually need it. I need it for the skill specifically because
This
I don't
moment.
remember.
You're just gonna look up and suddenly there's a man
Skills
sitting
are-
on your head.
Well, I don't remember.
Hello.
I don't
It is
remember
me.
skills themselves. Okay, so Star, I want you to make a Wisdom saving throw for me, and for Aidwin, I would like for you to make an Intelligence saving throw for me.
Advantage or normal?
Advantage for you.
Alright.
Normal for Aidwin.
Is it supposed to be spellcasting modifier?
Something special and unique is happening.
Ah,
But is it supposed to be spellcasting modifier for Aidwin's save because her spell
Mine's
mod is
charisma.
not intelligence?
No. Oh, that's right. You are a charisma caster. Sorry. Use your charisma. It would be a charisma save, not intelligence. I am so sorry.
What I thought.
even
I-
better.
Nice.
I am so sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. Okay, so as you both step forward and begin to once more channel, you all watch as coming from Star's hands, this like light blue like coalescence of energy begins to sort of emit out from one of her palms towards the crystal, and on the other one you watch this like deep black energy begin to coalesce and come from that hand towards the crystal before almost being combined into one beam, this like strange mixture of that warm blue and black light cobbled together and going towards the body of Raubon. And coming from Aidwin's, you watch these two red beams of energy instead in place of the of what Star's hands are creating that also go towards Raubon's body. And as both of them strike, you watch as his entire body gets enveloped in what could only be explained as like this colored hue of flame. This black, blue, and orange flame that just consumes his body. And as it does, you watch as Pippin begins to like run forward for a moment, but stops as that black lightning begins to once more streak across the body, and you all hear this like pained wail, like this banshee screech that just fills the room, and you watch as all of the guards immediately fall to their knees and grab their ears. I need everyone to make an intelligence saving throw.
Jesus fuck.
Uh-oh. Okay, that's not that bad.
I mean to do disadvantage. Good thing the first number was the high one.
All right.
Oh,
So,
yours are both really high, so
yeah.
Yeah.
So, most of you are able, it's extremely painful, and for you, Aidwin, it's really difficult to not release what you're doing and grab your ears from the intensity of the screech with you being so close. But you manage to, though it is painful, and you can actually see from both Star and Aidwin's ears blood starting to trickle out of both of them. And Aidwin and Star, you both see on each of you blood starting to trickle out of your nose. However, Rakshana, you are the only one that fails, and you just hearing this, you grab your ears and fall to your knees and just like trying your best to block this noise out from your head. And actually no, Delgar and Rakshana as well. Both of you,
Honestly speaking, it kind of makes sense.
yeah. So
Star's gonna like as like We're looking back at each other. Star will give like a pained smile, but keep going.
Yeah, same like pained, like winky smile.
Kryn, you're the only one this doesn't happen to, actually. But the rest of you, actually, I also need someone to roll for Oda.
Oh yeah.
Because he might get this as well.
Oh man, they have a
A 20. Okay, no.
bevy of.
He also saves, so he rolled high enough, so he also does not suffer the effect. So Duggar, you do pass, mind you. Rakshana is the only
Pretty
one that
good.
failed, but Kryn and Oda are the only ones that don't suffer this. All of you, all four of you, from your nose and ears begin to bleed. But Star and Aidwin, Chisume, Chisume, being a child, would not have actually been allowed to enter the room.
Could have left with Momo.
I would have left her with Momo. She likes Momo.
Okay. She would, funnily enough, she would actually accept that.
That is a
Happily.
positive thing. Okay.
Yeah.
That just shows you how powerful
So-
Mama really is.
Yeah.
Indeed. So thankfully, no worries there. I was about to actually roll for it. I was like, oh,
I was
shit.
so scared.
But no.
My heart sank.
So, Rakshana, you are stunned for a minute. But thankfully, Star and Aidwin, the ones performing the ritual, passed. So, Pippin also passed, thankfully. Although all of the guards, including the two behind you, failed spectacularly. And as you continue this, I want you both to give me casting saving throws again. So the wisdom and charisma saving throws.
Okay.
Oof.
10. Okay. As you continue, Star, the pain from the wailing is just, it's making it so hard to concentrate. And Aidwin, you actually can, all of you can actually see from the robe, some of the eyes themselves on the robe beginning to actually bleed from this constant screeching.
Oh, that's
I
some
can
horror
command
movie
them
shit.
shut, right?
You can avert your gaze, yes, but it just so you know, it renders you blind. Just so you
And
are
they'll stay open.
Aidwin, as you are continuing this, you can feel Star's strength in this ritual beginning to fade. You could drop the ritual, which would stop the ritual, but it would likely end the screeching and probably
We'd have
stop
to start
whatever's doing
over.
the Star, but you would have to start over. You could attempt to overtake the ritual and complete it yourself, or you can attempt to aid Astaria. You are unsure of what the effects of the last two might be. But this is like a
I'm not
split
stretching my hand
second.
to you.
Yeah, well, this is like a split second moment decision he has to make, or she has to make. Like you,
Help Star.
yeah, like as you're focusing, you can feel her etherical presence beginning to fade. So you want to help her?
That's
Yes.
her response was already
Alright.
reaching out for you to like take my hand, fucking drag me
Alright.
through this hellhole.
Make a charisma check for me
Charisma check. Okay.
with disadvantage.
Eesh.
14.
Not bad.
Not bad. As you begin to focus and try and reach your energies out to Star, you feel this strange presence beginning to filter into your mind. It's an unfamiliar one, but it doesn't feel malevolent. Do you allow it?
Yes.
All right. As you allow it in, Aidwin, you can feel this strange omnidirectional vision begin to take hold, and you feel your senses, but you feel someone else's as well. Stars. You can see yourself and everyone else around you, and you can feel that same pain she's feeling, and it just almost amplifies yours. The pain that you're feeling, and it's this strange disconnect, but at the same time there's this innate connection that you now have with her. And Star, you can feel this presence, this unfamiliar one, and what was once your body is not yours anymore, and you can feel your presence pushed back. And it's almost like you're looking into the world through a window. Several windows, mind you, but you no longer have control over your body. It's just there, and you're just a viewer. And Aedwin, as you begin to push forward, you can feel this strange power beginning to sort of bubble up inside of you, this warmth, this intense warmth, a familiar one. You've only had it once, or you've only felt it once, and it was in that dream as you were traveling towards Gridania. Do you allow it to bubble up, or do you reject it?
Yeah, let's keep it going.
All right. As you pull on that power and try and bring it forth, all of you watch as surrounding Star, this like faint trickle of fire begins to slowly just kind of wisp up from around her. And as it does, you can see this like almost aura of fire beginning to envelop Aedwin. And there's this presence that fills the room. Everyone without a blessing of light, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
That's me too, huh?
No.
Oh.
You are the source of it.
Oh.
Them saving throw?
Yes.
I don't have
Yeah.
a blessing of light, right?
No.
Mm-mm.
All right.
Oh no.
As both of you are sort of wincing in pain and just kind of watching this ritual happen, you both feel this strange presence from Aedwin. Not malevolent or anything, and it's not overpowering or controlling, but it's just this faint presence that you really, you don't know how you can do it, but you really just want to help Aedwin in any way you can. And Aedwin, as you begin to complete this ritual, I want you to roll me one more charisma save with advantage. And Star, I would like you to also roll a wisdom save with advantage.
Alright.
Okay. And as this continues, you watch as surrounding now Aedwin, this bed and stars, this like aura of fire. And Pippin, who is just like kind of just staring at all of this in awe, you watch as that black lightning begins to actually get absorbed into this fire, which begins to now circle and almost like it's getting sucked to a singular point before all that black lightning is sucked in, and you no longer see any sparking around Raubon, and instead just see this singular ball of flame that it has this like crackling black energy that's just swirling around it, and this ball is no more than maybe a tennis ball in size before it gets split into two halves, both getting sucked towards both of these floating crystals. And as they do and get absorbed into these crystals, you watch as they both immediately turn this like blackish red color, this like fiery electricity beginning to spark across each of them. And as each of them, as this happens, that aura seems to almost flicker out. That presence that both Rakshana and Kryn were feeling fades. And Star, you feel your presence once more pulled back into your body, and that control once more back to being yours. And Aedwin, as this all finishes, and you pull your hands back and you look around, your senses once more are only yours, and now sort of this very strange, almost disassociation with reality begins to fade. And as you look around and begin to sort of take in, he did not, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah. You attempted to reach out, but as you did, that's when that presence sort of took hold.
Oh, okay.
And
I was waiting. I reached out when you asked him to make that split-second decision.
right. And
Like, just physically.
right, and
Not
this is
magically.
all sort of happening. That the very first start of it with what was affecting you directly happened sort of at that immediate moment, and then the entire ritual itself takes about 10 minutes in total, mind you. And so that the very ending part took a long time as all of it happened. And that wailing seemed to cut out as the lightning in that ball was split apart. And Aedwin, as you're taking in everything and beginning to sort of look at your hands, them sort of shaking slightly, you can see these faint like lines where your veins would be that are like this very, very softly pulsating orange red color.
Fucking hell, you alright?
I don't know.
Somebody
just-
like to explain to me what the hell that was? Or do we just not know?
No clue. Velcro just pulled like a scrap of clothing from one of his outfits and just patting up the blood.
I don't know if you guys are near us. Oh, your own
No.
blood.
Yes.
Yeah, and they're from you. They're about 70 feet away.
Star will just take to her knees, being a little dizzy from all that, and avert her gaze completely.
All right.
Yeah, Edwin's gonna wipe her blood off from her nose and ears and just take a really deep breath and... You okay?
I don't know. Did it work?
You keep asking.
Looking over
I'll
it.
look down to Ravan.
Yeah, as you all take a moment, and all of the guards are unconscious, by the way. As you look around, they're all on the ground, nose and ears bleeding. Looking at some of them, some might actually be dead.
Oh no.
But Pippin is just kind of standing there staring at Raoban, who, now that you look at him, though the wounds themselves are still there, you can see they've like cauterized over, and that black lightning is no longer there. Seem to have worked. Both of those crystals now sort of just floating there in the air.
Star's gonna wait for confirmation because she shut all the eyes. She's oversensitized.
Well, the lightning's all cauterized, or the lightning's all gone from his body, and his wounds are cauterized.
Good. Good.
I slowly and non-threateningly approach the place where that happened. emphasis on the slowly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Because
just gonna go ahead. Go ahead.
if Pippin says don't, she's not going to.
No, Pippin is like just staring at the body. And it's like just
I'm going to follow Roxana, and while I'm walking forward with her, I'm going to say, you might want to start calling for the healers.
It's okay. Yeah, go over healers. Starla will pull herself up on like the edge of the gurney or whatever, and quickly, like, based on what she remembers vision-wise, because she's not opening those eyes for a bit, she will move up to check for a pulse.
all right. So as you begin to do that, Pippin just kind of like shakes his head for a moment, looks around at all of the guards, and goes, "Oh,
Please hurry.
yeah."
Dogger's going to try to do what he can for the guards and the healer's kid, even though he's not expecting much.
Yeah, Pippin runs out to go and try and get some medics, or begins to run out anyways. He's small though. It's gonna take him a bit.
I will go with him and assist because I'm a bit faster than him. I know that.
All right. As you begin to check Robon over,
Oh,
he
I
does.
get a Hattie on that.
That's true. Let's go ahead and roll again. 30.
30. Oh,
21.
close enough.
So as you begin to sort of keeping all of the eyes closed and beginning to search him over, he does have a pulse, thankfully.
Good.
But it is extremely weak.
Alright.
Well, we can pump him full of feels.
Yeah, we're gonna actually do something to really heal. Dual healing word. But DM,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to use my new blessing.
Okay. Okay. So, let me just woo doo 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 doo, ba doo ba doo ba doo. Okay, so as you all watch her raise her star globe and mutter just a few, what do you say for the healing word?
Wake up, idiot.
You can't beat that. No. Star?
When you're unprepared.
Yeah, fine.
It's healing word. It can just be something short and simple, like, get up, idiot.
Maybe don't say get up, idiot, to the
Probably
general.
not a good thing.
Sultana needs you, Robon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna run over to.
Sultana needs you.
You gonna run over?
I'm gonna run over to one of the guards that might have fucking died, and I'm gonna use my Revivify materia on him.
Nice.
Alright. So we'll get to that in a second. As you say that and release the energies, you all watch as... Whereas normally her healing energy is sort of a softer blue and very warm and inviting, you watch instead as the energy that comes off is this like almost blackish void-like energy that comes out of it. And as it spreads over Raubon, you watch as this in a very similar vein to when an Ascian teleports, this like void-like ethereal rift almost expands over him before closing, and you watch as far more of his wounds than you might have expected are closed. And then Aedwin, as you are running over to one of the potentially dead ones, give me a medicine check real quick.
Okay. Medicine. Uh-oh. Oh. Well.
All right, you find one who you think might be dead.
Fuck. Well, I'm just.
All right, you use it.
I'm gonna healing word first.
Mm,
I'm gonna use my one free. No, wait, no. Technically, my materia hasn't leveled up yet, so I'm gonna
Nope.
do a free cure wounds on him.
Let's say give me a D100. Call high or low.
Low.
Okay. You cast the spell. Go ahead and roll your healing. See if it does anything. Uno momento, por favor. 13. Wow, you rolled max. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
As you reach down to touch him, notice a little meta. It's okay. He does wake up. He was not dead. This particular one.
Okay, well, she's gonna try to rush over and see which other ones she can do. She's just gonna see if there's other dead ones on the ground, like other knocked out ones, and just healing word. And if one doesn't wake up, then that one she will cast Revivify on.
All right. So while you are beginning to try and help as many as you can, what are the rest of you doing?
So we're just gonna go just help keep Star steady, and seeing that the eyes are closed, he's just gonna guide her if needed at all.
Check if others can be healed. I'm okay.
Duggar has been already treating at least what he can.
All right.
Roxana is running with Pippin.
Right, and then Kryn.
And I am keeping guard over my party members that are here in this room since everybody else is busy, and I couldn't put a Band-Aid on a paper cut.
Fair enough. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Visual or hearing?
This would be, I mean, technically it's both. So. I do know you have advantage on the on the visual, so.
Yeah.
Don't heal.
Well, I
Can
also
that
get a
be-
bonus because that's based off of intelligence on visual.
Yeah. But as you all begin to sort of find the ones that are still alive and bandaging them up, getting them not dead anymore with the spare the
If there was a
dying
good
cantrip.
handful, I could mass heal word as well.
Right. Well, like I said, there's like probably anywhere between 40 and 50 guards total in this room. So.
Find me a handful and make a pile.
All right, y'all begin to sort of pull the pile in. I will say, for the purposes of this, roll me a D100. And we'll see how many y'all can potentially save. Okay. How many spell slots are you all prepared to use in trying to save these guards? All of them?
I will use all of my slots.
Okay. How many healing slots is that in total?
I have 7.
And the
10.
same goes for you, MJ. With however many slots you are going to use, just let me know.
I have 16 spell slots.
Okay. Of varying levels, obviously.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you, Star? And if you only want to use specific levels as well, you can do that as well. So if you only want to use like mass healing words, you can.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I'll take my 6th level and my 3 from my 4th level and my 1 from my 1 level to push mass healing.
All right. So as you all begin to bring them together, healing the ones you can. For the ones, because there are several that are dead. For the ones that are dead, how many are you going to try to revive?
I can only do 1.
Is it greedy of me to be like, these diamonds be for my party?
I mean, it's up to you. You do know that Roxana and Pippin went to go get healers and medics, so.
I will wait for them.
Okay. So as you begin to heal some of them, in total you manage to save 22 guards. In about 10 minutes or so, Rakshana and Pippin return with several healers who begin. They don't manage to revive all of them. They don't seem to have that many diamonds.
Hearing them all run in, Star will be like, the wounded but awake are on the left of the room. Right of the room are ones we aren't sure are alive or are not up yet.
All right. As they begin to sort of split off, Pippin once more comes up to you and says, "So, did it work?"
It seems to. He is breathing. He hasn't awoken.
Okay.
I made sure to heal him up more, though. So now we wait.
All right. Well, that's good. I am a little upset. And he sort of begins looking around the room that,
I apologize for the...
I'm sure it'll be okay. Those who we are not able to save, we'll make sure their families know.
Please do.
That didn't happen with me.
No, this was much stronger. Likely that
Get
it
in
was...
there longer.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Well, how did you know that? Right. You said you found others that had similar wounds.
Yes,
And one was inflicted upon me.
that is
Yeah,
Dead.
the other two are in the care of Brother Isumiyan at the Conjurers Guild.
He should be informed quickly. Then I imagine.
Yes.
Yes, we're going back there almost after pretty much right after we're done here to
Do exactly that.
after our rest, because it seems like it can. If they're unconscious now, they'll still be unconscious after we have a rest and get our strength back.
He nods and says, "All right. Well, I don't know what kind of light show that was, but I'm not a spellcaster, so I'm not even going to try and understand it. I will make sure we keep a very close eye on Rabon, and if anything happens, I will try and inform you immediately. And actually,
Would you like our link shell?
I was going to say to facilitate that, how about we exchange link shells? But it seems you're one step ahead of me. Yes, let's do
There's
that.
a lot of people we often need to contact.
Yes, and link shells make it so much easier to do so.
It does.
Right. Well, I will not keep you here any longer. I am greatly appreciated for what you've done here for me today, and for all of Ul'dah. The Flames will be very happy to hear of the return of the General.
They will.
Yes.
Thank you. He turns around to head back over to Raubon.
Star will reach out for Delgar.
Doug will gently take a hold of her.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go back to the inn and sleep. I think, even though I think it's only probably not even noon at this point.
Can we clean the blood from my eye? The eyes. She'll gesture.
I don't know
I
what's
don't
more
want to
story.
scare the little
Yeah,
one.
Aidwin's just gonna press the digitate and
Easy
clean the
Thank
blood.
you.
Yep,
Thank
easy
you. I
enough
was
to do.
looking forward to trying to do them all. Let's go.
All right.
Yeah.
Heading
I
back.
don't know about anybody else, but bleeding out of the eyes and ears makes me want to shower.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
That sounds nice, really.
All right. Back to the quicksand you go, and as you re-enter, Chisume is nowhere to be seen, and neither is Eustace. But Momo is still behind the counter doing all of her work.
Hi, Momo.
Well, he goes, Oh, you're all back. Well, I take it by the fact that you're all still alive. Things went well.
Sure, yes.
Okay.
No,
Yes.
she hasn't.
No.
No, what you didn't
I
know. is
was
Feast
about to
is
say
sleeping.
the general's alive and healing now.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, that is, and as she says that, you watch as all of the other, admittedly few, adventurers all like, you hear this like collective shift in furniture as they all like a whole bunch of them stand up and like look over at you, and a few of them are like moved like moved forward as though like they were about to run at you, and like all of their eyes are wide, and they're like just like looking at you as though like they're waiting for confirmation that they did in fact just hear what they thought they heard.
I look at the
Starship's
rest of the party and go,
Probably should be
I really
a
need to
little
listen to Whisper.
quieter.
Yes, you should. This is becoming a very annoying reoccurring issue.
I forgot how familiar it is to have eyes on me and not actually see them.
Doug's just sort of keeping his stats raised, ready to push anyone away if they try to get closer.
Momo just speaks up and goes, all right, everyone, this is great news. We'll have a feast tonight. Everyone, please sit down. You're making them uncomfortable. And you watch as like
Rakshana looks to Kryn. You have the subtlety of one of your explosives.
It's a personality trait.
You say trait, I would be more inclined to say quirk. It's not necessarily negative, but at times it's
interesting. Watch as
Negative.
everyone begins to slowly
Unhelpful.
sit down and go back to what they were doing. Momo says, right, why don't we speak upstairs? And she
Yes.
gets down and begins to head upstairs. All of you following after, and as you get upstairs, you can see immediately Eustace, like wrapping his arms around Chisume's waist, trying to hold her back, as she is very slowly like pulling him forward, and it's like trying to open some of the rooms, and Eustace is just like,
Damn it.
no, you can't just go into other rooms. Ah! And
Does
she's
he have a wife named Muriel?
maybe now.
And a dog named Courage.
You can see each
Who
of
is
the
a coward?
doors is locked, and she can't actually get into any of them, and she's not really trying that hard, but she's just
It's
like
crazy
testing
how
each of
they
them. And he's just, and Momo, as she looks over and goes, all right, she started doing that like 10 minutes after you all left. You don't really know why. She hasn't actually gotten into any of them. But I had Eustace watch her just in case.
Oh, she's
Shumi?
probably just looking.
She,
Dogger considers getting her the steel side of it as a steel materia.
she
Mhm.
her head, as she hears her name, immediately whips around, and as she sees Star, she like grabs the arms that are around her, just like pulls them off with this like relatively unnatural strength, and just like throws Eustace behind her and just like runs over. As she throws him back, you watch as he like stumbles back and like tries to catch himself on one of the wooden door frames, just stumbles and falls to the floor. As she runs over and jumps up into your arms. Go ahead and make a strength save for me, Star.
Oh no.
10.
Understandable.
Yeah, as this happens, you are just completely caught off guard and thrown to the floor with Chisume just on top of you, arms around you and just tightly squeezing.
I missed you too.
Momo just chuckles and goes, well, it's pretty clear who she likes the most out of all of y'all.
Yeah.
I mean, being able to understand her might have something to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
For now.
Right, well,
What?
let's... Eustace sort
Star
of
will carefully get up, holding her.
Eustace sort of pats himself off as he walks over, and Momo dusting off Hattie, who you can hear is now muffledly screaming what you assume to be obscenities, as Momo, clearly either unfazed by the talking hat or doing it intentionally, is rather roughly sort of like brushing all the dirt and dust off of him before handing him back up to all of you to put back on Star. And Eustace, as he walks forward, Hattie, as he gets back on your head, you just hear, "And I swear if you ever do that."
Hattie.
Right.
Be nice.
It's a
Careful,
child.
Hattie would like Shisume more than you.
I wasn't saying it to the child. I was saying it to the what?
Mhm.
Wonderful.
Fine lady who owns this establishment.
Yes. We'll go with that. Momo just kind of smiles and says,
Sorry, I've never seen him so grumpy.
Momo just smiles and says, "And we all remember that, of course," and begins to once more head off towards the room, and brings you all, Eustace sort of just chuckling at all of you, and says,
I'll hand Eustace a gold coin for dealing with her.
he takes it and says, "Truth be told, it was fun. It was a lot
Good,
more
I'm
fun and exciting than some of these adventures. You're just, we want a quest and
Head
not
off.
much else."
Maybe
Have
start a
fun.
daycare.
And he walks, he walks back downstairs. You're all led back to the private room, and as you enter, Momo, turning around very swiftly and arms folded, she says, "So the general's alive and safe. You have got to tell me that it was fine and that he's safe and actually truly alive, and you're not just hoping it?"
Well, after Star and I did our thing to him, he had a pulse, a faint one,
was
but it was
breathing.
there.
He was healed up. He hasn't awoken yet.
Okay, well, I mean, he's breathing, and if the healing worked, then that means the lightning is no longer there.
Exactly, it is
So-
not.
Hopefully, whatever was affecting him is no longer affecting him. That would be
Did
nice.
we take those crystals or try to, or we left them there?
You never actually tried to grab him. You just left him there.
Not our business, apparently.
Yep, hoping to figure it out.
She says, "Well, that's good. It's very, very good. If he is up and about, hopefully he can set everyone's mind at ease with a statement of some kind about the Sultana.
Yeah, right.
Speaking of which," sort of looks at all of you and says, "Now, I'm not an adventurer anymore, but I'm acutely attuned to the way aether flows around this place." She looks to the spellcasters in particular, and she says,
Waves a little.
"I know you did something up there with some very powerful magics. Anyone who is in Ul'dah, who has any semblance of etherical knowledge, would have felt whatever happened."
Awen just looks like, oh.
And then her attention turns to you, Adwin, and she says, "And I'm sure it was your party, because I felt your presence when I felt that disturbance."
Awen just looks like wide-eyed and just like,
Okay.
she keeps trying to like say something, but then she keeps going back to think it's
I don't...
We performed a ritual that we don't quite understand. But what we do know is that it removes that electricity from the people inflicted with it.
Sort of nods and says, well, I know when to stay out of things that are not my business, and whatever you all did, and her eyes sort of scan your party slowly, I admittedly don't want any part of. I don't like whatever feeling that was, and I would
Would
be
you like to
very.
sleep?
No, I am just nervous what the Thaumaturgist Guild might think.
Fair.
Hopefully I don't have a target painted on my back. Because
Well, we'll
I
be
don't.
leaving soon.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be better to try and talk to them, or just get out, avoid them?
I
Don't we usually run in situations like this?
Here's the thing. They're not malicious. They're creepy. I'll grant you that. I don't think anyone in this city will ever argue against that. But I don't think they mean harm with what they do. They're probably about as neutral of a party as you get in Ul'dah.
So talk to them if they do come to talk to us, but if they don't, then don't worry about it.
I personally wouldn't go seeking them out.
Understood.
That's what I figured.
Best not to seek out potential problems, I guess. Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't, like, they weren't waiting for you.
There were a lot of guards there.
Well, they're probably trying to figure out what actually even happened, because, well, I don't know. I don't really pretend to know what y'all did. All I know is it was something with very powerful magics, and I am just glad that
we're alive?
Yes. We'll go with that and leave it at that. How about that?
Okay, sure.
So, stay safe. You can, of course, stay here at the Adventurers Guild as long as you need. Just return the key before you leave.
Of course. Thank you.
Sorry if I made you uncomfortable in your mind or
Well,
whatever.
I wouldn't necessarily say uncomfortable, just strange.
Well, I apologize either way. I wish I knew what I did, but I have no idea.
Well, either way, it's not me you would have to answer to anyways. I don't care. I run the Adventurers Guild, and whatever you did does not seem to have affected it, so I couldn't care less what you did. Admittedly, I mean, there are laws and all that, but that's for the guards to
figure out if we're still here.
Pippin
Anyway.
didn't arrest us on the spot, so
exactly. And,
good.
Well, I figure if it's for Pippin, the Brash Blades probably don't have much authority in that regard.
Oh, I wanted to ask you, though it's unlikely, do you know anyone who may have a direct line connection to Isunyan?
Isumion?
Yeah.
There's the Adventurers Guild in Gridania, of course. That one is ran by someone different than me, of course. But they might know something more. I do know that he's not, at least as of late, he's not exactly easy to find. He seems to be quite
Aloof.
busy, and very aloof from my few interactions that I've had with him. He does not seem to like to leave the 12's Wood very much, so
Well, it sounds like we're teleporting to Gridania after we rest up a little bit, anyways.
Yeah.
well, I wish you all the best and hope you return soon. And at least check in once in a while.
Definitely.
We will.
So, well, I will leave you to it and wish you all the best.
You as well.
She leads you to it. With that, I am going to say we're going to go on a break. We're going to go on
I'm gonna get a drink.
Sounds good.
Yeah, going for about 2 hours
Shit.
now. So we'll take a 15-minute break. We'll come back then and just, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope you all enjoyed that ritual.
I did.
Oh boy.
I'm angry, Edwin. You should have grabbed my hand.
I was trying to.
Then again, you might have gotten nailed in the arm.
Yeah, who
From
knows?
how that went.
Reach for my hand, don't fade away.
Who knows what all that was? I guess we'll maybe find out later. All right, I will be back.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I thought I thought I tempered Kryn and Rocks there.
But
Ugh.
I thought I tempered you both.
what do you mean?
Like, well, Aidwin's part primal, and to be tempered by a primal is to fall under their influence.
Oh. Well,
So
we might have a guess about who it is. Either like Ifrit or Phoenix, possibly.
my guess is Phoenix, since that's what I'm being led to believe. And yeah.
Though there is another primal whom's devoters really, really like them.
I don't think I'm Sri Lakshmi.
You never know. I'm just using my new knowledge, okay? I haven't met enough.
Eyes wide, freedom of the world.
She was
I don't
pretty,
wanna-
but she was a bitch.
I don't want to know anymore. I'm gonna
That's
step
all I'm
away
gonna say.
now
Okay,
and get some ice cream. I think.
good
because
idea.
it
Don't
is
take your headset.
I can't. It's
Okay.
wired.
Good to know. I don't know. She didn't look very snake to me, so you could be.
We're taking a long rest before we went out again, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
Yes.
I bled from all of my eyeballs. I'd like to rest. Let's just hope brother doesn't consider this an incident that wasn't my fault.
Gosh dang it. My two favorite guns are gone for a little while.
I told you to try to get her to give you loners.
I didn't
Like when you
want...
trade in your phone to get fixed?
Well, I still have my old original pistol that I never got rid of it.
Fair. Smart.
So I have that. I'm not unarmed.
Yeah. But you miss them. Understandable.
I miss them. But when
Are
they
you
come
done?
back,
Are you done? Yes.
I've got my Glock of friendship. I can shoot that all day long.
Florida man arrested after 1 month of eating Slim Jims at gas station for free. Man claimed quote-unquote corporate sent him as quote-unquote regional Jim Spectre.
I am back with Mochi Mates.
That's something to come back to.
I
The,
only heard the last part of a word, so
a Florida man was arrested after a month of eating Slim Jims at a gas station for free. Man claimed quote-unquote corporate sent him as quote-unquote regional Jim Spectre. The
And he
official
wouldn't have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you and your blasted dog.
the official Slim Jim Twitter account is saying to free him.
Oh my god.
Oh, the Slim Jim Twitter account is also like a fucking meme lord, and it's really funny.
Like how Wendy's is the sass lord,
Yeah.
and Moon Pie is the wholesome little brother everyone ignores. Have you
I also
seen
really
the
like-
Moon Pie Twitter?
No, I haven't.
Please go look at it. At one point, they put together or used some machine and made it watch hours of, I think it was just Olive Garden commercials.
Oh my
Then asked
god.
it to write a script for a commercial. And it was something like, did you bring the secret sauce? Customer C looks at camera, smiles, and secret sauce pours out of her mouth.
Ew.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've definitely seen posts like that one. Okay, here's the Moon Pie Twitter.
Also, I think he was. There was like a joke about him and Wendy is dating for a long time, and then they broke up.
Oh my god.
It was really funny.
There's-
I don't know what they're
there's-
doing now.
There's one out there on TikTok where Wendy's and McDonald's characters are together and they're dominatrixes over Subway guy.
Oh.
Okay, I need context because all I heard was something about dominatrixes over a Subway guy.
Yeah, it's not a great thing to come back to.
I like that one of the most recent tweets is people laugh at the name Moon Pie when there are literally guys just named Guy.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are literally people called John Doe and Jane
Yeah.
Doe. Like, literally. Like,
ain't your buddy, pal. Ain't your pal, friend.
and there are
Ain't
people
your
named
friend, guy.
those.
Hey, that's my name.
That's me! I'm included.
Wendy, what is the name of your restaurant? Wendy's. Wendy's nuts gonna fit in your mouth.
Hmm.
Titties.
Yep.
That's when.
That is an interesting response to
Sorry,
that question.
Vuri, my phone is tweet like today. Not my fault. Give me Brock, man. God, these tweets are stupid.
Was I supposed to understand a word you just said?
Not really.
Oh.
He was typing with missing letters. It said, "My phone is broken. This is how I have to type today. Give me a break, man."
Oh. Yeah, I didn't get that from the whatever the hell that was.
I think it reads better when you like physically see it.
Probably.
Yeah. Welcome back, by the way.
Who? Me or bait?
Both of you.
Yes.
Danke. Bruh.
Don't you bruh me?
I am Hercules
Bruh.
Mulligan.
Bruh.
Bruh.
Upping it, loving it. Yeah, I heard your mama say, "Come again, hey." Look
I
up
love
your
that.
horse, daughters and horses. It's hard to have your winter course over 4 sets of corsets.
Dude, it's so good though. Like,
It's
oh
so
my
good, it's
god.
good. Wow, no more sex, pull me another brew, son.
Oh, it's so great.
Do I even want to ask for context?
Alexander Hamilton.
Hamilton. I'm the ALEXANDER. We are meant to be.
a colony that's run independently. Meanwhile, Britain keeps shitting on us
Shitting on us
endlessly.
endlessly. Admittedly, they tax us relentlessly. And then
So,
King George turns around on a
sentence
sentence free.
He ain't never gonna set his descendants free. So there will be a revolution in this century. Into
Enter
me, he
me,
says
in parentheses.
Don't be shocked when your history books mention me. I will lay down my life just if it sets us free. Eventually, you'll see my
You'll see
ascendancy.
my descendants.
Oh, I
Woo!
love that shit, dude. It's so
Oh,
good.
that's so good.
It's so good. And everyone else in this call is looking at us like, what the
Like we're
fuck?
crazy, yeah.
By the way, I've been
I
recording
got it at
this
least. I know
entire
Hamilton.
time.
Coco's maybe into Hamilton.
Yeah, I've been
Yes,
recording
I
this entire time, by the way, so that is going to be on the internet forever.
Hell yeah.
By the way, I have rebranded my YouTube channel. It's called, I believe I set it to the DM's Corner, or the DM's Gaming, or something. I think it's the DM's Corner. So I'm going to, essentially, it's just going to be, I'm going to upload all of my art stuff there, as well as all of our sessions. And I'm going to make it public, so that way, and I'm going to change the title so that way they're somewhat inviting, you know, and give a little bit of a description. I don't remember what happened in any of them, so...
We can watch them again and we'll figure it out.
I gotta go subscriber.
That means you need to edit better, because sometimes in some of them there are weird cuts. Like we were RPing and then suddenly we were already in battle. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I know. Listen.
You'll work on it. It's fine. You'll figure
So
it
I
out.
want to remind everybody to attune your materia before you take your long rest and get your level.
I am doing. Yeah.
I do not have any right now.
Same.
You don't have. What about the shield and the material bond?
Oh yeah, I haven't asked Bait about that, so I'll talk about that after.
Okay.
Well, we are. I'll say at the moment, I'll give us another 5 minutes so you can have questions.
Oh yeah, I did also have another question.
Yeah, go for
you
it.
have all the ones so like my girlfriend is loud.
Yes, she is.
So when I'm finished attuning to my materia and we level up and everything, my this relevant example is my ice materia will go up to very rare, so I can cast Cone of Cold and cast Ice Knife 3 times.
Okay.
But do I lose the Ice Storm from the previous tier?
No.
Or do I also keep
so I didn't correct it in the previous iterations, but later on you'll see actually a change in wording there. Essentially, what it does is when you gain that new tier, so an uncommon ice, right? You get, I believe it's Ice Knife, right?
Yeah.
The next tier, you get Ice Storm. The next tier, all that does is means you can now do this as well.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So then the next one is you can now do this as well. And so I think it's in the Earth one you'll notice is the only time it's mentioned is if you get an additional use out of it. So essentially, unless it states you get an additional use, you can just consider it to be you still have the same one of the previous tiers, unless it states otherwise.
Okay. Yeah, because I also have my... Oh, no.
Like with the summoning materia, all it does is add +2 to most DCs every time it levels.
Right. Also, I think I mentioned this in a DM, but I didn't actually post it anywhere. And if I didn't, I'll also put it in the updated rules. But for the materia, unless it states otherwise, like it's a spell, for example, the range of it would be 60 feet. Is like how far away it can be used for, like, let's say a summon materia is you can cast it on a point of your choice up to 60 feet away, and then it itself has a 30-foot radius unless specified otherwise. And generally speaking, it hits all creatures, unless, again, specified otherwise. So keep in mind your own party. That's one of the dangers of using it. They are very, 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 very powerful intentionally, but they hit your own parties, generally speaking. So
I wanted to ask about for my uncommon materia, if I could do like shield materia.
yeah, that's fine.
Yes.
A shield for uncommon would be, I want to say about 300.
No, I think this is like the remember we all got a free uncommon materia.
We put
Yeah.
that together, didn't we? To
No,
get
we.
that.
No. That was from the reward for guessing
Oh yeah.
what the twist
Yeah.
was on the birthday session.
Yeah. We all
Yeah,
got a free
and-
uncommon.
Did I tell you what would have happened if you had all guessed it?
No.
No.
We would have gotten a very rare or a
You would have
legendary.
gotten a legend. You would have all gotten a rare materia, and then your party would have gotten a legendary materia
Okay.
of your choice, just whichever one you wanted. But that would have been like a miracle if like all of you had guessed it. So, or cheating, squinty eyes. But you didn't guess it, so obviously it wasn't cheating.
Okay, MP plus is uncommon. So
Any
I
other
already
questions?
Bahamut will be
have my
awesome
stuff
at legendary.
I have all my stuff listed at what should
will
it
also
should
say-
be right now.
Because level-wise you're not going above 20. If you get materia after you hit level 20, there will be ways to increase its power. Don't worry. I'm not just gonna be like, you have an uncommon and you're fucked because you're stuck. No, like, no. I have other.
Yeah, because
means.
I was doing the math. And we are any uncommons from this point on. We're fucked. We'll never hit legendary.
Yeah. So don't worry about it. I've already gotten thoughts and ideas about that. So.
And I'm guessing that the one cast of whatever spell you want to use, like if I want to use like Cure Wounds, it's just the first level one, right?
No, it is your caster level.
Well, wait, but Cure Wounds is just a first level spell, anyways, though.
Right.
Yeah,
But
this is Pathfinder 3.0.
it takes your caster level. So let's say you have the ability to cast 7th level spells and you use the Cure
I do.
Wounds. It's considered a 7th level spell.
Oh,
Like when you use it, but it's only those limited uses, right? So
right,
but they're
right.
considered essentially whatever your highest spell level is, and it's a free
Okay.
cast of it. That's why the revive materia doesn't give additional casts of any of them. I think Revivify might get one additional cast. I don't remember.
No, it's just Revivify, Resurrection, and then True Resurrection.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's
I see.
yeah, they're very powerful.
Hmm?
And again, intentionally so.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I cup.
Okay. Cool.
any other questions?
Um,
That was uncommon that we got, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
for that one, yeah.
Cool. That's good.
What happens if I slot Moogle into my staff? Chocomog.
Wait, say again?
What happens if I slot Chocomog into my staff?
Oh,
Or wherever putting in wherever in general?
if you were to slot the Chocomog into your staff, you have a 10% chance on a critical hit to stun. They get no save. They're just stunned for a turn. Specifically until your next turn.
I
Until the
guess
start
I'll
of your
slot
next
mine on my Elven Chain. Makes more
turn.
sense.
Which one?
Yeah.
Shield.
Shield. Shield would actually give you a +1 to your AC.
Oh.
Nice.
I know if I slot my ice on my armor, it'll just give me resistance to ice, right?
Correct.
Okay. What
If you
about
were
the
to-
counterattack and rare and the MP plus? Do those have any additional effects on things?
No.
Okay, that's what I figured. I figure
Yeah,
it's just like green and red would have additional effects, basically.
Some of the other ones do, but it's dependent on which one. It kind of varies. I looked at what the effect was and if it would make sense to have something.
Hi, Pupper.
So
Okay.
Hi, Pupper.
Um,
Up, up. Up, up
what
with
if I
Mama.
put my revive materia on my weapon?
you would gain 1 temporary HP on a hit for each target you hit. So if you were to, say, use a fireball and hit 10 people, you would gain 10 temporary HP. But keep in mind, on your next turn, if you gain temporary HP again, and that amount is above the other amount, it just supersedes it. It doesn't stack.
Yeah.
So just keep that in
Okay,
mind.
so it acts like a shield.
Yeah. Very vaguely.
Kinda, yeah.
Right circumstance, you can get a lot of temporary HP, but funnily enough, hitting your own allies always has a benefit. Congratulations.
Great.
Technically speaking.
And what about my healing materia? If I put that somewhere,
I mean, where are you putting it? Keep in mind that you can slot them anywhere you would normally be able to slot a magic item. It's like bracers, boots, necklace, things like that. But you have to have an item in that slot. It doesn't have to be magical. You just have to have an item in that slot.
If I slot the Chocobog into the carpet.
Into the carpet?
Yep, the flying carpet.
Oh, right, you got a flying carpet. Unfortunately, the flying carpet is not considered an equipment slot. So.
It is a mount.
Maybe my boots?
For which one?
For the heal?
For the heal, there would
Please
be no
don't
effect.
pick people to heal them.
Be healed! Worm!
There's no effect in the boot slot.
I mean,
How
you make a lot of
about
foot-loving
weapon?
friends.
How about as a weapon?
The heal one as a weapon, it's the that would give you 1 HP back.
Mm-hmm.
Muggle just into myself in general.
Again, depends on the slot.
How about my bow?
Body.
Body.
My hair bow.
Okay, so putting the Moogle in your body would actually give you advantage on saving throws against stun effects.
Huh.
For your heal,
Swallows materia. That's my materia.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could try that. It might do something. Who knows?
So
Please don't.
I am going to put the exit materia on my belt, and I am going to put the speed materia on the speed plus on my boots,
Okay.
whatever.
Real quick, Adwin, where were you putting what? Who,
The
where?
heal. What about my bow?
Hair bow.
My hair bow.
The shield on your
Or not heal.
heel on your.
Yeah, I'm just on my
bow?
hair ribbon.
Oh, you're okay. I thought you were talking about like an actual bow. I'm like, is that what you're?
I don't have.
Like,
I don't have
that's
a
a weapon.
bow.
I've already told you about that. Like, did you already forget?
Yeah.
No, if you were to slot it into the head slot, nothing.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
What about the revive on a armor piece?
You'd have advantage on death saving throws.
Oh. Okay, so it sounds like I'm gonna do ice on body, revive on head, heal on my weapon, MP plus on my. Wait, oh wait, this would be go up to very rare. This would be up to very rare.
Hmm?
I'm just
He's talking about his
mixing up
things.
my.
All right.
my
So any
materia.
more questions or no?
Cover
I'll
my
ask
braces.
after game about how they level because I have no fucking clue.
Okay.
When
We'll take care of
After
any.
game.
Yeah. Any further questions we'll take care of after game.
cover my bracers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh boy.
It just connected my head. I will wait.
Yeah. We'll deal with all that after the game. So, as
is
you
that?
all I think you wanted to take a long rest, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So easy enough to do. Take a long rest, and when you awaken, at this point, due to travel, it would be about, I would say, about 6 o'clock, like late afternoon when you wake up.
Mhm.
All right, and we level with long rest, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Cool.
So
Nice.
your new levels would
Motherfucker, can I
apply.
get what dice? Good dice roll. Hit dice.
All of
Yeah.
our rare materias go up.
I don't know how to do that. We'll do that later.
Yeah, yeah. We'll cover all that after the session. So,
Yeah.
as you wake up, fully refreshed, you teleport to Gridania, I assume.
Yeah.
All right.
Or wait, or do we want to stay around for the feast?
Well, the feast would have happened at the night.
Oh, okay.
So you would have to stick around for essentially the rest of the day and a little bit into tomorrow if you want to stay to have partake in the feast. So
I'm good to not.
We're saving the world. We have things to do.
Yeah.
all right. So
Do you have a fan blowing into your mic, MJ?
Yeah, sorry. I'm alive.
it's very understandable. That's why I didn't say anything. It's understandable. It's very hot, and I can still understand you. It's perfectly fine. So
Okay.
all
Why
right.
is it that bad?
Yep. Be sure to, for those that
That's
need
fine.
to, choose your spells.
I did.
You did get the long rest. But using teleportation circle, you go to Gridania. And as you sort of, each of you port in to the space, you can see, oh God, how far, wow, Gridania is pretty far. It's
We
actually,
should probably switch clothing.
yeah, it's actually
Yep.
pretty late at night. And as a result, it's pretty cold out. Thankfully, thankfully, it's not like extreme temperatures or anything. It is still winter is starting to fade, so spring is coming very close. So it's starting to warm up, but it is still pretty cold, especially compared to the outfits that you would have worn in the desert. However, it's easy enough to find a place to get changed, whether the Adventurers Guild where you have free lodgings or elsewhere. That's easy enough to do. Where do you wish to go?
Like, how
Sure.
late in the night is it?
Moon's, I'd say probably about a quarter way into the sky.
I will not go quiz the people watching our birds just yet. Then.
Shall we go quiz the Adventurers Guild guy? Since I believe that's where the soldiers were, I think.
Yeah, I think we can probably wait until the morning, right?
The soldiers that were injured were being kept in the back of the Conjurers Guild by Isumiyan.
Mm-hmm.
Then we will go to the Conjurers Guild.
Okay.
That's what I say.
Yeah. Or we could wait till the day. The moon is up. It might be
We just
considered
read.
rude.
All right. So
We got a world is safe. Who cares about being rude?
So you cannot take another back-to-back long rest, just so you're aware.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we're going.
However, we can assume that you teleportationed here and then began your long rest.
Yeah, that's fair. We could do that.
Because since you weren't staying for the feast, it wouldn't have truly mattered. So as you sort of wake, spending a couple of hours bumming around, it turns out that the moon was quite far in the sky because sun's almost up here.
Wonderful.
And so waiting takes about 6 hours or so before you can finally see the sun above the actual tree line itself. it's also very interesting to see how people move about here in Gridania compared to the situation in Ul'dah. It almost feels like they don't even know what's happening. Maybe they're just unaware, or maybe they don't care, or something. You're not entirely sure, but the people that hustle and bustle about here get up at pretty much the crack of dawn. Some of them even a bit earlier, like the carpenters. The Carpentry Guild itself is actually not that far away from the Aetheryte itself, as is the Archers Guild, I believe. The Archers Guild. We're just kind of watching how people go about. The Wood Whalers themselves, though you don't see many of them, the ones that you do see do not seem to necessarily pay any heed or attention to you or most of the other civilians. The Twin Adder soldiers that sort of go around do make some small talk with sort of some of the locals, but it seems largely centered or based more towards the individual that they seem to know or seem to have some kind of connection to. It seems mostly just kind of general banter. But as you wait into the early mornings, about when do you go?
We can go like early-ish morning, but I wanted, while we're watching everyone kind of get up and start moving about, Star did want to chat a little with the party.
Okay, go for it.
Right.
I wanted to know, back at my father's when we were speaking to the Seed Seer, if you guys found anything odd.
Odd how?
Just how she was.
Hmm. It's been a while. It's hard to remember.
I don't remember if there was anything weird. I didn't feel anything wrong with it.
I recall she was very testy.
Let's say
Well-
Krendelger and Adwin, give me what is history based off? Intelligence?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me intelligence checks.
Come
Do you
on.
want
Adrian Kren, as you're thinking back, at first you don't really remember anything, but now that you're thinking back, the seats here did seem agitated. Like, really agitated. Almost, from what you understand, uncharacteristically agitated.
Hmm.
I mean, I just thought it was because your dad had promised her a white chocobo and he wasn't delivering. But I mean, I could be wrong.
Maybe it's something that she did that it's kind of supposed to be like an underhanded, like a under the table kind of deal. And she doesn't like having to go and do that.
The voice mimicry that was done back in the fight, was that heard by everyone or just me?
Just you. It was like whispered into your ear.
I'm just asking you a quick question, MPM.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Well, the chocobo should hatch pretty soon, so hopefully
Yes.
we can see what's going on there.
Plus, we are about to go see her brother, so we might be able to get something out of him.
I think we should, when we go to report back to Isunyan, ask to see the seeds here.
Okay.
I suppose it's not.
I mean, less ask and more demand.
Okay.
So good.
Yep, Dogger doesn't care.
Wow. Just okay. Sure.
Okay, let's go. I mean, I suppose that's not a horrible next course of action. Give us a little bit more insight and.
I
Hmm.
part of me feels she might not be there.
What do you mean? Like she's possessed or something, or
Know that she will not either
be
maybe
around?
possibly she might not be around. When we were fighting with La Habrea, he whispered to me. She'll just kind of scoot closer to everyone and lower her tone in her
Well,
voice.
well, she disappeared. We'll know why.
Well, think about it though. He tries to get into our heads, and he knows that you have, and he probably can look into our minds and see what we're afraid of. So
I don't
if
fear her.
When it comes to lava bread, I don't trust anything about him anyways.
Well, true. What's not to say that we've been dealing with him the whole time? Or somehow he's been tangled into this. But Sultana didn't even really seem to care when we reported to her. The seed seer was oddly testy.
I wonder what's going on with.
Are you implying what I think you're implying?
Depends on what you believe I'm implying.
La Habrea is impersonating all these people.
Correct. Because if that's what you're implying, we have a problem.
Yeah, you see
A
my
big
worry.
one.
It could be that or something completely different. And that's why I think, be it that we weren't even supposed to be doing what we have done without the seer's permission, that we demand to see her.
I see we get the main thing then.
All right. So, you had there like kind of early-ish morning then?
Yeah.
All right. Getting there early, you actually beat most of the conjurers to the guild itself.
Fucking slackers.
Where's the hustle?
Yeah. Walking in, I mean, it's mostly just kind of a carved in sort of cave, so there's no real door or anything. And sort of waiting, it does take about an hour or so of waiting before Isumi Yan does make an appearance. Entering into the cave, you can see he's dressed in the same sort of white robes that he was before. As he sort of looks up and over to you all, he says, "Oh, you're alive."
Yes.
Yes, and with good news too.
Oh,
wait.
that's good. I should clarify real quick. I didn't mean that in a bad way. It's just everyone else who's gone there didn't return, so it was a surprise. That's all. A good surprise.
I'm actually going to insight check that.
Go for it.
See how truthful he's being.
Who's our slip of the mouth person? Because I'm gonna
Me.
send them a glare.
Kryn.
Looks at
Alright,
Corinne
sorry.
and
Did
make
not
the
say
thick lips.
anything this time.
I know, but she's before anything happens, makes a zip-lipped
So-
motion.
Delger, since you rolled literally above nearly
Jesus
impossible,
fuck.
he is being entirely truthful. He is genuinely happy and surprised that you made it back.
Okay.
So yeah, he's being
Delger's just-
truthful.
I wrote the part. We'll just see Dogger sort of nodding. He seems to be agreeing, okay, with everything that's being said.
He just sees Star making a zip motion at Corinne, like,
Well, we know how to treat them.
yes.
Oh, that's good. And one thing that pretty much all of you do notice is that as you begin to say that, his eyes are drawn to Star, and like as he's responding, but his eyes are just like locked on the dress. And Dogger, you could tell that
Can I just make
that
the eyes
dress
all
caught
blinked
him
at
off
him?
guard. He was not expecting to just be kind of stared at by like 100 eyes.
Can I make them all blink?
Make a wisdom check.
Think 3 times fast.
With advantage. Because I have
They all blink.
easy
But it's
enough.
like a
It's like,
make it a wave, like
Yeah.
left eyes and right eyes.
yeah, easy enough. And you all see him visibly just shudder as they all just like in unison do this like wave blink. And he's just like,
Yeah, you didn't want to see it earlier when she was bleeding out of them.
oh, I imagine
Don't
that
worry,
wasn't
they only blink if I ask them to.
right. You watch him very quickly shift his eyes away to anyone else.
You are definitely much
His eyes
more
immediately
interesting
shift to
than I
Kryn,
imagined.
and
Okay.
it just like lock onto her, and just like do not allow them to move anywhere else. She's like, right. Let's go. And you watch as his eyes still on Kryn. He just begins to point towards the back. Let's just go back there. And he's just like, as he moves, his eyes just and head just slowly turn to keep it on Kryn until he's like right next to her, and then just immediately shifts to the back and just like starts power walking.
Wow, I really caused that much discomfort. The price of seeing.
It's her accomplishment.
It wasn't
Weighing the pros and
necessarily
cons. Just
uncomfortable.
probably the blink.
Yeah,
I
he wasn't-
probably made it worse.
Doug, you know that he wasn't necessarily uncomfortable. It's just the sight of them all caught him off guard, and then the fact that they all blinked was like just kind of the tip on the iceberg, and it was just like very unnerving. It was clearly the first time he's ever seen this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So if you want to fuck with them, just make them reasonably aware. Just keep looking at them.
Okay, I will stop blinking.
So you all follow him into the back, to the soldiers, and you sort of right. So you said you had news.
Yes. We have found a way to remove the, I guess we can call it corrupted aether? Or
Okay.
whatever it is. Which allows us to heal the wounds. And potentially bring them back to as they were.
You've tested this, I assume, not just a theory?
Yes, we have used it on Rakshana here, though her injury is smaller than these. Would you show him your arm?
It was on her stomach, I
Oh, I
thought.
thought it was the
Yeah,
arm.
it was
Okay.
like, well, it was kind of like across the arm and stomach area. It was like a downward slash.
Well, I mean, pull up your shirt if you want to, then.
How has this guy been looking at her?
He's trying to keep his eyes averted from the dress. As long as it's not towards the dress, he's fine. Like, he does not care. But I will say real quick, just make an insight check, because I understand what you're going for. After a moment of thought, but you know, he does not seem that type. I'll say that much.
He will pull the shirt up to show the mark.
He's sort of moving in just a little bit closer. He kind of looks at you and, may I?
You may.
Moves up to you and begins to inspect it. And as he does, his hands don't ever actually touch you. They just kind of like get very close but don't actually make contact. As he like just begins to do what?
It's like when energy healers, they hover their hands just above you.
Yeah, exactly. He just begins to like sort of inspect it, and he's like, this wound is very similar, but it is, as you say, it seems more like a lesser wound or a less significant wound.
We did remove it very quickly after it happened, though with how long it has sat on the soldiers, it will be a lot harder to remove and may need more than one place to be stored.
Sort of looks back at him and says, well,
we did remove it from a person who had it for over a year, or almost a year.
Well, these two haven't been in that state quite that long, but there are two of them.
Yes.
I think they've been like this for about 4, maybe 5 months.
Well, we have 2 people who've done this before now, so we can get to work.
By all means. And he sort of
I
steps
suggest
away.
we not permit anyone within for the time.
Within
The area.
how big of an area are we talking?
It's a large magical release.
Aidwin.
We almost killed the largest group of soldiers, so we'd like to have it in a secluded area.
They were in close quarters, though.
Give me about 10 minutes then, real quick.
Alright, we'll just prepare.
Indeed. And you can tell Doug as he's walking out, he went from like calm and collected to extremely nervous instantly.
After he walks away, starts like, we caused him a great deal of stress.
Because he keeps looking at you. I'm telling you, make one eye wink at him every now and then.
I don't know if I can.
Admittedly, it was very difficult to get all of them to blink.
No, not all of them, just one.
I know, but she's not sure if she can. Yeah. Blinking in general seems to be hard. Because it's more like I can make them close and not see at all, or see everything.
Yeah.
I don't actually think they're meant to blink.
No, they're not. Which, yeah. As a note, just so everyone else is also aware, when you camp or sleep, in order for Star to actually sleep, she has to remove the rope. She does not have to unattune from it, but she does have to remove it, because otherwise this is an active action to close them. So it
will be a bonus action to put it back on, though, right?
Correct, because it's a simple rope.
Full action to close it, yeah.
Yeah, it's super easy to pull on. So, but
I've got something.
Yeah. So
I've got something I want to say since we got a bit of downtime. Delgir will just sort of, as they're sort of preparing to go around and get just recount. Star, I think your lessons that you told me is starting to really pay off, because I've been able to understand and pretty much everything she said today.
Sorry, what?
I've been listening to. I've heard whenever she's saying talks. I've caught everything she said. It must be working. Well, it must be working well.
Fucking
No,
monks.
this is me out of character. I'm confused.
It's a monk thing. It's a monk feature that I got.
Delger is able to understand what Chisumi's saying, no matter what she's saying.
Oh, you have
it's a
tongue and
monk
summon,
feature.
right?
Yeah, it's a monk feature. He can understand all spoken languages. He just does monk things now.
Sarah just stares at you.
What?
Her common is garbage.
What do you mean? That's a big improvement.
She
Delger
says
looks confused.
hello. She says thank you. It's not even thank you. It's a thank you. Her common is not good.
Speaking of Chisume, where did you leave her?
Great question.
Gonna say someone might want to go take Jasumi away from here so she doesn't get hurt.
Because there's no Momodi
I don't
here.
know anyone. She likes her.
Yeah, the two people she likes are the ones who need to do the frickin' procedure.
Yeah.
She can go with Delger. Delger doesn't need to do with the procedure. And Delger could take her for a walk. By her.
Out of character, Delger doesn't want to leave because he wants to be able to keep an eye on this guy. We'll get questioning him and eventually her sister. His sister.
Because she may not survive this.
I don't want her in here when this happens.
Keep in mind, you can communicate through link shells. So
when it's done, you can come back.
Yeah. We could apparently just leave it on and it will be out loud for you.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's like whenever you speak into it, it's an audible thing. So it's the one downside to link shells is they're not exactly unless the speaker themselves is whispering, it will not be considered. It's essentially as though they were there speaking.
So we could keep you on link shell and you'll be able to keep her safe and out of trouble.
Fine then.
She won't go with me.
I know that.
I will
she actually
say,
likes you a bit.
Yeah, I will say, Star, make a persuasion check. Because she does like Delger, just not enough for it to be, okay, I'll do it. With advantage. Although admittedly an 18 passes, so... But, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of hesitation, but she does.
He'll give you your favorite crystal later. Yes.
No,
Yes.
No, we'll take some with them and take you. Sorry.
Eagerly goes with the mention of the crystals.
All right, we'll just head out. He's carrying Chisumi around on his shoulders.
Yep. All right.
Well, yeah, we will keep you connected on link shell, so you won't really be without us.
I'll try not to get killed. Right. Good luck. No, we'll head out with Chisumi. Just looking for. He'll try to look for ways to keep her occupied.
Easy enough to
I guess we could assess how bad we believe the aether is while we're waiting.
Yeah, I'll say.
Pokes the body.
I'll say you can either do a medicine or arcana check, both of you. Or one of you can assist with the other one.
I have Hattie on arcana.
Yeah.
You could also do if Adwin wanted to do a medicine check instead to try and assess in a different way, that's possible.
Yeah.
F in the chat, boys.
Yeah, you probably should have rolled medicine, and I could have rolled arcana, but
sorry,
even though my
realize
medicine
your arcana's
sucks.
better.
No, you're good. It's better by 1 point.
Yeah, it's okay. But
can I give him a bonus by assisting him, even though I suck at medicine?
No, not for this. This was specifically because they have both done this before. So they sort of have a vague idea of what they're trying to look for.
Patient is stable. Question mark.
Yeah, basically. So as you both begin to sort of look it over, Adwin, unfortunately that was your first time, and there was so much happening that you're still trying to sort of process all of it, so you're not really able to make heads or tails of it.
Yeah, understandable.
However, Star, this being that having been your second time, and you being able to sort of process what exactly happened, having already done it before. The wounds do look more severe than Rakshana's, but not by a like hugely significant amount.
Okay.
They're not as bad as as Raubon's,
Yeah.
but they are
Not as
the wounds
less
themselves.
like Rakshana's.
Yeah, the wounds themselves, as you're looking at them and sort of inspecting them over and sort of thinking about the other wounds, the lightning seems to be like eating away at the flesh and making the wounds themselves look bigger.
Star's gonna crack a journal and make these notes, actually.
Yeah, looking at
Also,
them,
this time we should definitely make sure to try to take the crystals.
yeah, looking at it,
Yeah.
it seems like the lightning, as it eats away at the aether, it seems like it eats away at the body itself as well, almost like. And this is something that you've heard of. It seems like the body itself is made of aether. And it's not an outlandish idea or concept. It's pretty well known that basically everything is made of aether, just in various ways. And it seems like this lightning has some kind of property that allows it to absorb or eat away at the aether that makes up the body itself. And that part specifically is not something you've ever heard of. You've heard of things eating away at aether and destroying aether, just nothing like this. And actually, as you're thinking about it and looking at it, give me a Are you proficient in history?
Let me check. No, but Hattie helps me make it better.
Okay, instead give me a straight intelligence check. But
Alright.
technically there's no reference, but there is. With advantage still, because I had it.
No.
7. There was something that was similar to this, but it wasn't exact. But you can't remember what it is. There was something that had something similar to this. Yeah, that's all you can get from it. But these wounds do appear more dangerous than the ones that were on Rakshana, but less severe than what was on Raubon. Kind of like almost like an in-between-ish. You don't imagine that you would need to like Raubon for each. But there are 2 bodies, and that last time was extremely exhausting.
Maybe we should have gone back for those crystals. Damn it.
You do have Pippin's link shell now.
Star,
That is
would you
true.
just stand up and walk away for a minute? Like, hold on.
You are technically in an enclosed room.
Brace
by yourself,
myself.
So.
Oh my god. Hold on, guys. Sorry.
I think I just blew Star's mind. Like, wait, right, we can talk to him still. It's okay. We'll cut this from the video.
Thanks.
Yeah, this is a huge dead point. We'll cut this from the video. It'll be okay.
Alright, she will reach out to Pippin through Link Shell.
Okay.
Hello, this is Astaria. Just to make sure you know. Hope all's well. What happened to those crystals left behind?
You get a pretty quick response. And he says, "Good to hear from you. We left the crystals there. Every time we tried to touch them, they try to kill us. They're still floating here. I don't know what to do with them. Advice?
Stairs on the floor because we ditched the other one in a dungeon.
Sure.
Hey, so guys, the floating Zabby crystals are still hanging out, and they can't touch them.
Thaumaturge? No, I don't want to.
Mm.
Well, so you're no longer in Or
Oh, I have an idea.
What is it?
Hmm?
If it's explode them, no.
No. The cave where we left, the dungeon where we left the other one, we can go back there and teleport them there as items and just send them there.
So you want to collect them all in one place?
It's better than randomly spreading them throughout.
Good idea. Good idea. So I'll let him know. We'll come retrieve air quotes them. She'll make air quotes in the air, like yeah. We'll retrieve them.
Okay. He responds with ETA.
What should our ETA be? You should look back at everyone.
A couple hours.
Well, we got to.
The dungeon is about a week away on Chocobo.
Right, but we're going to
So
go there and use a teleport spell and send them to.
How are we gonna get these ones there?
Do you have teleport spell?
Let me check.
Because I can once a day.
We could ditch them a different plane.
I can't. Well, yeah, we can. If you've
Gift
got
for your
we can
brother?
do that.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to
oh
piss them
yes,
off.
give him all of that aether. That won't be a terrible idea at all. No.
Just sort of
Well,
bag
I'm
of
the one who
holding,
has
throw
the
them at them.
teleportation circle. If we can get them in the bag of holding without them destroying it, that's a lot of shocky ether into a bag.
Yeah, considering at this point, wouldn't the crystals be considered containers themselves and explode when you put them in?
Well, it depends on if
That
it's
would
a
scare me.
extra dimensional space.
Maybe I could try to wrist pocket them.
I mean, before you do that, make sure your carbuncle is not in the wrist pocket. That could be very hazardous to the
We'll
carbuncle.
snap and try to push the carbuncle into the bag of holding.
Okay.
Bag of holdings with me.
I have my
Got
own.
two. We got two now.
Yep.
I was trying to mess around.
Haha.
I'll say. How do you wish to try and finagle? Are you just trying to shove it in? Or are you trying to finesse it in? Which stat would you try to use to get it into the bag?
I am going to.
Acrobatics, if you want me to do it.
I think I'm gonna try to make it as straight as possible and try to twist its limbs around itself to make it like a burrito of itself.
Okay, but which stat are you trying to use? That's what I'm asking.
I have no freaking idea.
Okay, are you trying to kind of force it in there?
No, because that's dangerous.
Okay. So are you trying to use your knowledge of something to help?
Corinne, how do you acrobat it in?
Can I sleight of hand it? If she hands
You
me
can try
the
and finagle it and finesse it in, yeah. So I'll
with
say,
sleight of hand.
well, it would be it's a straight check with one of your stats. So if you want to use your dexterity, you can.
Oh, okay. Sleight of hand wouldn't do it. All right. Dexterity check. Yeah.
Not going in.
And that's with +5. So.
It's not going in. It's a really big thing, and unfortunately, the bag of holding, the hole is not super big. It might be able to fit. You can keep trying. You also do know, just as a note, the wrist pocket, when you put an item into it, it's its own dimension. It's not all in one dimension. It's like several little, like, very tiny pocket dimensions that are just
then that'll
big
work.
enough for the item. So,
It will go in its own dimension again.
but keep in mind the 5-item limit.
Yes, I have
So-
1 carbuncle in there.
Yes, just so you know.
fixed.
Yeah, just so you know. All right, put it back away.
We'll try when we have a crystal, I guess. She'll look at her non-existent watch, like, where the fuck is he?
As you say that, Isumi Yan comes walking up, and accompanying him, you see 2 other conjurers, as well as Kani Sina.
Oh, she's here.
Oh shit!
Hello, yes, the seed
She
seer
is
is
going
here.
to hate the energy we give off.
Delger just stands still as he's walking through the
Delger's
streets, just
not
suddenly
there.
really mad for some reason. I know, that's what I was trying to... if you would let me narrate.
Sorry. Go for it.
Delger just sort of stops in the middle of the street, suddenly pissed they sent him away. But has to keep going, because he has no reason to go back.
Fair enough.
Star will start up a link shell with you so that you are present.
All right.
Zelger, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yes, like, oh, hey, be careful where you grab, you see me?
We're gonna go this way.
Okay, we're going that way. What?
I was just making sure you were in touch with us.
Yeah.
So I hear you are going to be attempting some kind of ritual. You hear the
Yes.
seed seer speak up. Well, admittedly, I intercepted the message to the rest of the area. Sort of looks down and watches Isumi-yan just kind of chuckles and goes, "Yeah, I thought she was gonna still be in the meeting, but she's not." Hard to read. Cheers.
Hater. Damn it.
Well, I figured if it was a ritual that required ether, it might hope to have some more at your disposal, especially if it's to aid in saving some of my military.
Well, it's relatively the actual maneuvers themselves aren't super difficult, but
Well, if I may, before we get into the specifics, I do not believe we have all had the pleasure of meeting before. I am Kani Sina, and she gives a bow, the Elder Seed Seer, and I know who you are, Astaria, of course, but the rest of you, who are you?
forgive my manners. Edwin Embrine, at your service.
Wait, hold on.
Yes?
I guess she didn't exactly meet everyone when she came. Sorry, I'm out of character thinking hard here.
Well, technically, out of character, she did meet everyone. She saw everyone and introduced herself already. I will say, since you are actively thinking about it, I will give you that.
Thank you. Star will, like, smile. Silly, you've met them before.
Tilt her head. No.
You don't remember
you
us over at...
not come to my father's farm recently to check on a project?
Narrows her eyes. No, I have not been to your father's farm in some time. Sort of like begins to straighten her posture a little bit. Her brows sort of furrowing. She's like, "What are you implying?"
that you
Leland's
made
gonna
a
look
visit
back.
recently, and she'll walk slowly towards her. You made a visit recently to my father's farm to check in on a very important project. Please tell me you remember.
Rev cocks her head to the other side, her eyes narrowed, and says, I do not know what you are implying I am doing. The last time I went to your father's farm was several months ago.
Months.
And
Only
how
month
many
we
months
were
ago,
there.
hold on, were we there?
Not several. Like, it was maybe 2.5,
3.
3 months.
Yeah, 2-3 months. Yeah.
And it's like, she does not seem to know what you are talking about.
Oh, good lord.
Or
Actually, no, I guess, like, by the 12 is more appropriate.
Yeah.
You
I-
don't actually know. Oh, God.
Know
Uh,
what?
with I. So we were at her father's ranch about 2-3 months ago, and we had Astaria had a discussion with someone who looked like you, I guess,
Who presented themselves as you.
and who she had a very hard time thinking that, and she had quite a few different thoughts about what was going on and how it seemed suspicious. I mean, I had always heard that you were, as you are now, very calm, very
Collected
just
together.
collected, very proper.
You all can see her demeanor very rapidly shifting as all of this information is said. And
Star looks scared shitless, actually.
you watch as her grip on the staff begins to tighten and tighten. And for a moment, as her hand begins to go white, you think she might actually snap her own staff in half before her hand begins to slowly retract and loosen. And she says, let us deal with one issue at a time. The soldiers
Right.
first.
Yeah, of course.
And as you all begin to head back in, Delgar, I assume you pick up Chisume, yeah? As you run back?
He never set her down.
Oh, fair enough.
Riding his shoulders, pulling on his hair.
That's fair enough. So yeah, you dart back, and with your speed, you're able to get back there pretty quickly. And as you all begin to set up, is it just you and Adwin setting up?
Yeah.
Is anyone else in the party aiding?
I mean, I guess if people want to aid, or if y'all don't want to be
Yeah.
part of the freaky dream.
Keep in
I'll
mind,
aid.
yeah, I was gonna say, keep in mind specifically last time Pippin only allowed 2 of you.
Wait,
up
no,
there,
we can't have you
so-
come back. You have the child.
Doger was going to try to finagle something.
All right.
He was-
So
Please don't.
as
We don't want to hurt
Damn
her.
it.
as you all begin to set
Okay,
up,
fine. Going back.
so you're not going to?
Yes, after that exchange with the Link Shelly's gone back.
Alrighty, fair enough.
I guess actually Star will ask you that once we will let you know as soon as the ritual is over, and then we want you back.
Alright.
I wasn't gonna give it a chance beyond that.
Good.
Alright.
We're getting started.
Oh, wait. No, I put you on loop. I
Yeah.
typed loop. You can see it in there. I put loop. It even
Shame
enabled
on
it.
you, robot.
Damn it. What? Oh, I see. Come here, Pancake. Oh, that's very loud.
Wow.
Wow.
Thanks, Pancake.
Oh, Rhythm's back now, but we've already got Pancake in here.
It's fine.
Ow.
Rhythm can sit in the shame corner.
Yes, exactly. Shame Rhythm.
Repeat is disabled.
What? Is that what it said?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Loop all.
Cool.
Okay. I have Rhythm blocked because it sits there and repeats the message every single time. No, Rhythm, get the fuck
Go
out
in the
of here.
corner.
Oh no!
Be
No.
gone.
Bullshit, you're not connected.
I'm not
Excuse me?
connected. He lies.
Lies
That was
and
the most
slander.
blatant lie.
Such a blatant lie. Oh my god. Oh god. Rhythm trying to
Oh,
sneak
no.
its way back in here.
Oh no.
No.
We need the phased plasma rifles.
No god.
Oh my
The
god.
fucking machines are
All
rebelling.
right. So,
He just saucy.
Crin. Oh, Crin deafened. Uh-oh. Crin? Crin? Question mark? Hello?
I do think I actually have to get going though.
Oh, really?
Sorry to say.
No.
Oh,
Okay, that's fine. That's
Pretty
fine.
early. It's pretty early.
It's 11:30 and I gotta be up at before 6.
That's okay.
Oh,
So,
All right,
It's
I'll
a-
talk
it's
to
a-
you guys later.
Okay.
See ya.
it's loud.
Yeah.
I can quiet it. We'll be back in a sec. Okay. Okay, so this is a good spot to pause for the night anyways, as you all begin to come together and set up for this ritual.
Hold on a second. I can't hear anybody over this music.
Turn down the bot.
Stop.
I can't even see the bot.
There.
Pancake, man.
There. It's okay.
It's called
That's okay.
pancake.
Pancake is gone anyways. It's fine. We are...
I do think we should just try to finish this ritual because it's just going to be mainly 2 characters doing it all. Get that over with.
Well, I was going to actually ask if anyone else wanted to aid in it as well. So, and Rakshana herself has some things as well as I would like to see if Oda might like to try and contribute to it as well. 'Cause
Oda would
is there.
100% you know him.
Yeah, and Oda is there, and I want to be able to, see if he is here next week. If he's not, we'll go through it. I've already described a lot of the effects and whatnot. So
have
if
you,
those kind of things happen again, I will
Finished
just.
recording?
No, I'm still recording. But at the very start of next session, as I said, you already know a lot of the effects that went on. If those kind of things begin happening again, I will simply make mention that they are happening again. I will not go through the entire lengthy thing once more. We have it recorded and it is forever on file, so it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of things that I'm taking into consideration, speeding up things that you've already seen or things I've already described and whatnot. That's why I didn't describe the cave and all that when you re-entered, because that's already been done. And everyone already knows what Isumiya and Kane-sana look like, so there's no reason to describe them. The other two, there are nameless NPCs that are here and probably just going to die, let's be honest.
Let's be honest, yeah.
They're like probably level 7, I don't know. I just had them join them because why not? But they got the elder seats here. I'm sure they'll just be revived. It'll be fine. But yes, I am going to end it here just because it is a good spot to end it. And there could be other effects that happen dependent on who joins in and how you help out. That's another big thing. It's a lot of dependency on how you help out. You can, of course, try it with the same way that Star and Aidwin are doing it. It would be using mental stats, depending on, what you exactly are. If Kryn were to do it, for instance, it would be intelligence, because that is his saving throw. For you, Duggar, it would
Excuse
be
me while I
wisdom.
turn a few dotted lines into solid lines.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty odd. Like, I made it pretty obvious when Magnus was like, isn't it supposed to be casting stat? And I'm like, yeah, I know, you're right. His is charisma, not intelligence. So it's like, I've already kind of said it, and it's recorded, so. But yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it would be a stat based off of like your class, essentially. Because most classes have some kind of mental
Should we
stat
stop
tied to them.
recording? As you're just going
I
into
mean,
detail
this
of
kind
how
of stuff,
things work.
if wanted, I can cut this kind of stuff out. It's fine.
True.
But yeah. So let's get to the 3 questions, shall we? The thing that I do at the end of all of my sessions. And I'm going to start, since I know you've got so many questions about it, I'm going to start with Aidwin. Hello.
Oh, man.
Hi. Did you like the ritual?
Huh?
Did you
Oh,
like the
yeah.
ritual? Pretty great?
Yeah, I definitely was messaging bait in the middle of it because I honestly thought I'd tempered Kryn and Rocks, and I
Almost did.
almost. I
Oh.
mean, they rolled really, really low.
I'll just say this. Kryn was exceedingly close to becoming tempered.
Shit.
But he didn't. And that's good.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely liked that. That was cool. Can't say I disliked anything. Looking forward to seeing what the hell is going on with the Seed Seer.
Man, you're pretty speechless tonight.
Yeah. I
Normally
mean,
like,
there's
yeah,
just
like
so
this and
much.
this and this, and like
Just
tonight
like
you're like, I mean,
there was I don't. Yeah, Adwin's just kind of just. She doesn't really know what to say. She feels really bad that she invaded people like every single spellcaster's mind in Ul'dah. So, you know,
it's pretty intense magic you're using.
she doesn't even know what the fuck it is.
I mean,
I
truthfully,
need to draw
none
a
of you
dabbing
do.
star. That's what I need right now. I want dabbing star.
I will say the funny thing about the draw, deception, insincerity, confession, depression. I was trying so hard not to just go into Lion King right there. Oh my god. Deception, confession, depression, depression. It's too close to home.
Yep, that's it for me.
Yeah. Confession by the Seed Seer. Like, I don't know what you're talking. I thought for a moment y'all were just not gonna catch that. And, yeah.
How could I not?
I was gonna
She
be
has her own
really
Yeah,
upset.
right now you've got a little.
corner.
Yeah, right, you got a little hate boner for her right now.
I was gonna be so upset if y'all just didn't catch that, because like I was like, this is exactly what she would say, and yeah, it's gonna make it completely obvious, but she has no idea what the fuck she's talking about. And, like, this is
See,
a
I
pretty
didn't think
huge.
it
Black
was.
the wall behind me. She has a conspiracy theory
I
area
didn't
on
think
my
it was
board.
so. I didn't think it was so crazy because it was like. I remember that when when the Seed Seer was there, that she was only talking to Star for a little bit, and that was like, oh yes, hello, your other friends. Okay, goodbye.
Yeah, but she did already introduce herself and everything. So, and that's all I told you is like, no, she's already introduced herself. So like, from
I'm
there,
on
Star
high
being
alert.
like, yeah, it's from there, Star being like, I'm calling this bitch out. That's entirely on you. I told you what your character knew in the moment. So, yeah, it's pretty great. So, moving on. Let's go to Delger. Hello.
Hey, it's mostly a lot of the same of the usual. Looking forward to figuring out what's going on. Looking forward to just getting further through this story. Disliked, it was just a lot of really idle this session. There wasn't really much that could really get done.
Yeah.
Could do this session, which I didn't enjoy.
There's a lot of RP. A lot
Yeah,
of just talking.
And not even just that, it was just I couldn't help with the previous ritual. The ogre's plan was basically going to leave Chisumi further up towards like the front of the Thaumaturgus Guild, the Conjurer's Guild. I mean,
Yeah, admittedly, the first one was like Pippin was not wanting to allow.
I get that. It was just
so-
it's not fun doing all this back to
Right.
back.
Right. Well, thankfully, Isumiyan is far more inviting, as their city is not under martial law, and under threat of,
You keep her away so she doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
I know that.
Admittedly, I will say, and this is something that I'll be perfectly fine if y'all want to do retroactively. The blast radius, no one outside of that room was affected.
Mm-hmm.
So, two theories about that. Either one, it doesn't go through walls because the doors were completely closed, or two, the radius was about 150 feet. Because that's how far it would have been from where the body was to where, like, outside the door was about 150
My
feet.
worry is you put her down and she wanders alone.
I was going to leave her with a bunch of the crystals and stuff, trying to bribe her to keep it stay in place.
I just don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah, but that's what we can say about most of the stuff they do.
So I will say that y'all do know that, so you can make your assumptions based off that. Additionally, to give you scope for the current ritual, from where the bodies are, or from where like one of the crystals would be, to the entrance alone of the cave is about 100 feet. So you wouldn't have to go very far away with Sume to get out of the theoretical limit of this area. Isumiyan, you would know, Delgar, Isumiyan cleared about a 250-foot radius. So, I will say you guys can do with that information whatever you will. If you want to have Delgar sort of staying in that area, with how fast are you? 70 feet, I think?
50. I'm not
50?
that far yet.
Oh. Wow, really? I thought at level 13 you'd have more movement speed from your passive.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Well, either way, with 50 movement speed, and a dash action that's 100 feet, so you could get there in like 3.5 turns, even less if you wanted to use key points. If you wanted to use key points, you could get there in like 2 turns at most. Like on your second turn, you would arrive there in the room. So, yeah. So if you wanted to do that, I'll say I'll more than allow that. That's perfectly fine.
No, it'll stay back at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know that, being the background. Additionally, I will say the idea of the crystals, if you wanted to try that with Shisume, with how long you guys have had her, she will not disobey if you give her her favorite crystal. Like you tell her to stay in one spot and just give her like 2-3 of them, and she will just stay there until you tell her that she can move. You've known her long enough and you've built up enough of a relationship that she is effectively that of a child for you. She won't disobey if you, for the most part. Like she doesn't like leaving Star, but if Star is like, no, you have to, she will. The roles primarily are to determine how willing she is to go. Rather than if she will. Like she will, it's just how reluctant is she. So I'll give you guys some clarity on that. So yeah, and if you have any other questions about things like this, feel free to ask. But until then, we are real quick going to get rid of, or we're going to go through the rest of these questions and go to Kryn.
Okay, so I enjoyed the whole ceremony for when they, because again, I had to sit there on the sideline and watch because I have no skill in anything arcane. as they heal the general. So I'm glad the general's back. So hopefully after he's feeling better, Udall will get back to normal-ish. So that's what I liked. What I'm looking forward to is finding out if it was truly La Habrea that was impersonating all these key people. Because that would suck. And that's about it.
All right. Then, of course, Star.
I'd like to first point everyone over to Exhibit A, which I'm going to put in general.
You're right.
Yes, I had
Well,
a corner for her. I knew something was strange.
yeah, but it wasn't ours. But it wasn't the actual seed seer. It was somebody
Yes, that's the
impersonating her, I
point.
guess.
The
Yeah.
point
Yeah.
on my board is the conspiracy here. At least my quiet conspiracy that was going on was that it was not the seed seer.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yep. It wasn't exact, but she was really close. You were really close.
Mm.
I have been chewing on this idea for a little bit,
Mhm.
and I am so happy. It's been really interesting. We learned a lot. I started making a bunch of notes. I need to update Star's journal. I have a lot to do.
What you looking forward to?
Talking to the seed seer after this.
Okay.
Cause she looked like she was ready to fucking break her own staff. I don't blame her. I'd be pissed if I heard, hey, so you, but not you, visited my father.
Doing shit shady behind her back. Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
We're about to find out exactly what'll happen.
You know, whoever this person is, if he was that interested in the gold chocobo, he may be behind those creatures. If he was that sort of interested in them.
Maybe. Well, I will say mine 3 real quick. Mine 3. I loved the fact. I honestly, I loved all of it. I really did. I loved being able to see y'all or have y'all save the general, which I will, since it's no longer an issue, I will say he had a week left.
Oh fuck.
Oh,
If y'all
no.
hadn't found that out for another week, he was beyond dead. His body would have been gone. There would have been no bringing him back, not even with true resurrection. So y'all got real fucking close there.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So I'm really glad y'all were able to save him. He'll be able to come back and actually participate in the story.
Honestly, I'm really worried being one of the main people, this group being the main people who can actually reach out to the Sultana, and her just not seeming that enthusiastic with us, or at least with Star. That one fucking whisper, mister, has set me, like, over edge on fucking everything. I'm staring this down and I'm like, why isn't she seem more excited that we could save him, huh? Huh? What are you? Who are you? I'm not even sure we're talking to the Sultana.
Who knows? I mean, you've not
My
seen
suggestion-
her talking to you, so.
It may suggestion may be message to Mary, not like the little link shell, but you sending. Get that directly pressed to bypass whoever's trying to basically intercept us.
It's an idea.
Yeah.
There's also the blessing of light.
That
You
too.
could do something with
Sure.
that. Who knows? Like I said, I love experimentation. I love it when y'all are like, I want to do something totally wacky and maybe it'll work.
Oh, I'd like to ping this in the chat because I used it today and no one seemed to care.
Mhm.
But this is my new blessing.
Oh yeah, no, we didn't even see that.
No, you did. I
Oh,
described
no,
it
you
when
did.
she
Oh no,
healed.
you
When
well,
she healed the
I didn't
general.
ping it.
yeah.
And when she healed the general, her healing spell had a completely different effect.
What I meant
more
was
like-
we didn't see the actual ping.
Yeah, no, I
Oh,
didn't
I
ping
see.
it.
What the ability is, yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, we'll chalk that up to everyone trying to process everything that was going on.
Fair.
Because admittedly, there was a lot going on. You know,
Yeah.
you just completed this bomb-ass ritual where y'all just saved the general of Ulda's army. Like, I'm just going to tell y'all now, when the actual Sultana, because, you know, y'all don't know if you were talking to the actual one, but when the actual Sultana finds this out, y'all
She
are going
gets
to be
me over
like,
the fucking moon.
y'all are gonna be like literally like legends in Ulda. You're gonna be like the same status as the Warrior of Light.
We still need a reason to all to actually start calling ourselves the Penumbral Knights.
Oh, you will.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I've got.
Okay, I trust you.
I've got it. It's got to feel
Realistic.
natural. So
Fair. I have so much to update on my board.
you do,
Yep.
and so much to write in your journal. Oh boy.
Yes.
So much shit to connect.
And so much will happen on your next long rest. Oh, I'm so happy. It's gonna be so much, but sadly I have to wait for the next one. It's okay though. What I didn't like, nothing. Yeah, what I didn't like, obviously nothing. What I'm looking forward to is next session.
Yeah.
That's a week away, sadly.
Actually, I have to make a whole new point because this no longer attaches here anymore.
Oh no. All right. And
No, these things
now-
don't attach to time shenanigans.